So, guys, if you're interested in living in an RV or just traveling in an RV for any amount of time, whatever your plans are, you need to buy your RV now because I'm not kidding. Every dealership is overstocked right now. Everything's on clearance, and they've got to make room for the new 2024 models.
Oh yeah, they rolled out with the 2024 models, and a lot of them had them at the Hershey show in Indiana. But on top of that, this year, RV sales are down like 50%. So there's so much inventory, and they are totally priced to sell. Welcome to the Wandering RV Show, your source for our stories,
our screw-ups,
and our successes living the full-time RV life. I'm Kara, the Wandering RV Babe, and this is my driver, Ryan.
Howdy, folks! It's time to talk about RV life.
It's time to talk about RV life. I agree.
So tonight we're going to be talking about, you just got your RV, now what do you need? Well, I said it during the pre-show, prices are down, it's time to buy that RV, but we want to prep you for some of the unexpected costs, the things that you might not realize you need to buy, including some that we knew but still didn't budget for.
Yeah, we screwed up, and we'll tell you about our screw-ups so that you don't make the same mistake. But we're also going to give our recommendation for how to save money on diesel fuel if your tow vehicle is a diesel. So that'll be super fun as well. We'll do that during the pick of the week.
But first, we want to shout out last week's top gifters.
I love how you're like, we want to honor our top gifters. And I'm like, let's give them just a shout out. you're so much more sophisticated about it than I am.
I try. I just like to honor people.
You do. All right, I'm going to try to get all of your names correct. But these were our top gifters from this past week, just like Ryan said. We've got Lainey Grace 9728, Gav O, Milani Creek Farm, Nikki Ader, Erica 0329, David Gritman, Earl Demaria? Part of this is like a game of can I pronounce your name correctly? Odin's Monster, that's a pretty awesome username. Eat Local New York, Juice 5811, D Peoples 2121, Country Boy 1081, Ganel Goodson, hopefully I pronounced your name correctly, Sires 1969, Mike Ox 245, and Sun Top 22. Thanks guys for giving us gifts last week. We so appreciate it. We'll do shout outs every week for our top gifters of the previous week. So definitely join us on Thursdays for that. And we reached over 10,000 followers on TikTok over the weekend, which is super, super awesome. So we decided to give our first giveaway ever, which is a guest spot on an upcoming Tuesday night live that we'll be doing. And I'm super excited to announce that Randy Flanagan won that guest spot. So we're gonna reach out to you, Randy, after the show. We'll send you a video letting you know that you're the winner if you're not on our live right now. And then we'll coordinate a time and have you join us for a 30-minute guest spot on a Tuesday live. So there we go. If you have a recommendation, so we're talking about unexpected costs of RV life, but if you have a recommendation or a topic you really want us to cover, definitely give us a follow, send us a DM, and let us know what topic you want us to cover, and we'll try to work it in future weeks.
Okay, on to the main topic. So, fun story first, to lead into the topic. When we sold our home to go full-time, we made a little bit of a profit, a good enough profit to kind of help propel us into this life. That was part of why we did it.
Yeah.
And we kind of had a quick turnaround on a lot of stuff, and so I had to budget out, okay, I need this much money to put down as a deposit on the RV. I need this much money to put down as a deposit on the truck. I need this much money to go ahead and pay off some of our debt.
Yeah.
And that was it. And like those were the three things I was going through. I was like trying to get everything ready, have some money for a few startup costs and everything, trying to divvy it all out real quickly in a matter of like a day or two. Well, got the RV, got moved in. The truck took a little while, and so we had to wait on that one. But in the meantime, I wanted a special kind of hitch. It's an automatic sliding hitch, and it's a lot more expensive than your standard everyday fifth wheel hitch. And so we ended up not budgeting, prepping for that, and I think it's like $3,000 plus, and we had to in the last, kind of find how we were going to cover that at the last second without like going into debt over stuff that we didn't need to, and so we didn't plan for it.
Yeah, it was funny. So the hitch itself is an absolute game changer. We absolutely love it. We've had it for 2 years. It's been amazing. I saw in chat somebody called out that we have a Sandpiper RV. We love our Sandpiper as well. But guys, it is a big ass fifth wheel.
Oh yeah.
So it's 40-foot fifth wheel, and we have a single wheel 3500 truck. We did that on purpose. We didn't want a dually because it's our only vehicle, and so it's also our around the town vehicle, just like our tow vehicle. And having the automatic sliding hitch, because they also make sliding hitches that are manual, that are cheaper, but you have to get out and go manually slide it. So having the automatic sliding hitch, I think it gives us 18 inches of clearance.
Yep. So we can do like full on 90-degree turns even in a short bed. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's great. But
it's a little on the costly side, and we didn't prep it as part of our budget. Like, we had all these startup cost things we were prepped for. Obviously, anytime you buy an RV, you have sewer hookups, you have water hookups, you have electrical hookups, all these things that you have to buy to get you up and going. And we prepped for all of that. We were ready to buy all those things. We got them. We were good to go. But the actual fifth wheel receiver is just, it was a cost I didn't plan for, and we wanted to prep you for that. So that's our main topic this week, is talking about the different items that you may not actually think about you need to buy to get into RV life.
Yeah. So, I mean, first and foremost,
number one,
the hitch.
A higher quality hitch. So a lot of times you can get some pretty cheap hitches. It's really not that big of a deal. But
and there's people that will get kind of a starter hitch. They figure out how they want to travel, what works for them, and then they'll upgrade later, which is great.
Exactly. And so a higher quality hitch, like a sliding hitch, or if you have a pull behind, like a weight distribution hitch, those are going to be more expensive. You also have hitch adapters. So like if your truck's a little tall, depending on what your setup is, you may need adapters or step downs. Depending on how big your RV is, you might need stabilizers. And if your truck didn't come pre-wired for it, then you need this 7-pin wiring.
Yeah. So that's all stuff to consider that you might not normally think about as a cost associated with getting your RV. The second thing is new tires. And it really doesn't matter if you're getting a new RV or a used RV. Those RVs just sit. They'll sit on the lot, or they'll sit in somebody's storage unit or something like that. You can actually look at the DOT date that the tire was produced. It will tell you, it's like a 4-digit date that's on the tire. The first 2 digits are the week of the year that tire was produced. And then the last 2 digits of that year are the actual year that the tire was produced. So if it says 05/22, that means it was produced in the 5th week of 2022. Those tires can be old. They also are not usually super great tires that come on the RV.
Yeah, when you buy a new RV, there's no guarantee you're going to get good tires. And in the case of ours, we got good tires, but they were like 2 years old by the time we actually bought it and took it home. So like they were already old tires at that point, and so they need to be replaced. Our truck tires, actually, another big point, our truck tires, it was a used truck, but our truck tires actually needed to be replaced within, I think, it was maybe like 4 months of us hitting the road. We had to go ahead and get new tires, and so that was another big cost.
And they're expensive, especially good quality RV tires. Depending on how big your camper is, you're gonna spend a pretty penny on it. So that's something you gotta budget for. What else? What's next? What are some other unexpected costs? If you think of unexpected costs of RV travel, if you have an RV right now or you've had one, drop it in the chat. Let us know, because we want you to be part of that conversation as well.
For sure.
If you have questions about RV life, about us, stick around. We will answer those questions at the end during kind of the open Q&A. But if you're talking about the unexpected costs of RV life, you're more likely to get a shout out and a call out during the show. So definitely join the conversation. Number next, fuel, which is a pretty standard thing. You know, your fuel costs are gonna go up when you're traveling, when you're towing, you're gonna use more fuel. But propane
refills. And I know most people think about it, they're like, yeah, I need propane. Of course I'm gonna like have propane costs. The problem is if you've never done it before, you may not realize how much that can cost and the different ways that places will charge you for it.
Yeah. Yeah, Killed Killa, I like your username. You were talking about the tires, and you said, yeah, you're lucky they lasted that long. We are very lucky that they lasted that long. I know I'm backtracking, but it was on topic, so you're getting a shout out. But yeah, propane could definitely be pretty costly depending on your use case scenario.
Well, and different places charge different ways for it. So some will charge you by the pound, some will charge you by the gallon, and some will just charge you the full tank cost no matter what. And you're out. You have to pay for it whether it's halfway empty or completely empty.
Yeah.
And that really sucks. Mark calls out a spare tire. If your RV didn't come with a spare tire, definitely check into that. Make sure you have a spare tire for sure.
Yeah, if you're having to replace all of your tires and you have 4 tires on your RV, just get 5 and have one as a spare tire.
Number 4. Electricity cost at monthly and even some weekly sites. So most of the time, if you're at a daily site or in most cases at a weekly site, your electricity is covered. However, if you start staying longer or you end up at one of those places that does have a weekly cost for electricity, then that's going to be something that you have to account for and you got to pay for every month that you're there or every week that they're there.
Yeah, totally agree. It really comes into play a lot when you get monthly sites. So if you're planning on doing the RV lifestyle and you're going to be stationary or you're going to stay places a really long time, that's really when you got to look out for them charging you for electricity and not just including it in your campsite fee.
And Killed Killa also brings up another wonderful point, like being prepared for repairs, because roofs can get damaged really easily on RVs. You can have other damage. You get in the case of us, we had a blown out tire, and so sometimes you just got to be prepared for those damages that just are going to be coming your way.
Yeah, I mean, that also really segues very nicely into annual maintenance costs and tank treatments, sealants, things like that. The rubber conditioner that goes around your slides, if you have slides, all of those things are things that are small, but they do add up. You got to have slide grease if you have slides. You got to have Loctite if you have slides. You need tools for changing a tire, for all of the different screws to kind of make sure that those are screwed in nicely on your camper, and they're not always a Phillips head or a flathead screwdriver. So those are some of the extra little costs that they seem small, but they can add up really, really quickly.
For sure. Another one is bottled water. So water filters are great, and we have one water filter outside the RV. We have another water filter inside the RV for the water that we drink. But honestly, there's some places where that's not enough. And you're going to need to buy bottled water when you're at those places, and be prepared for it until you're ready to move on from that site. Just buy the gallon-sized water bottles. But the price of bottled water has been going up.
Yeah.
So that's really been one of those things of that was a big part why we were big on using the filters, but then some places we got to and I was like, yeah, this still tastes and smells funny.
Yeah. When we were, there was one place that we went to and the water was legit slimy, and it was gross. It felt gross. And we use a 3 filter system, and so even filtering it 3 times. Now, we didn't use the new filters that we have now. But regardless, you're gonna have to pay for water filters, and those costs can add up as well.
And Al, thanks for the roses.
Ooh, yeah.
Spencer, we are drinking, I like that, accidental mimosas.
Accidental mimosas.
Killa brings up a great point. Keep fuses with you.
Oh yeah, fuses are great to have with you. You need spares.
TPMS systems, those are great to keep an eye on your tires so you know if there's going to be issues before the blowout occurs. These are all kind of things that you just kind of want to keep around, and are they're great things to help with it. But yeah, those are for sure some extra costs and things that you should be putting your money.
Exactly. I mean, and true, they can fail. So the TPMS systems can fail. You do still have to keep an eye on your tires when you're driving down the road, but you absolutely need to make sure, again, back to our previous point, you have good tires that are new or newer on your RV.
Another cost that might come up is you're probably going to have to replace some of your kitchenware to get more RV safe kitchenware.
Yeah, or at least get, if you're not full time, make sure you have, duplicates of things for your camper like kitchenware. But you don't want to be carrying around dishes that are breakable in your RV, because as soon as you drive down the road, your RV is going through an earthquake on the road as you're traveling. So you want dishware that is durable, that is microwave safe, that can be cleaned easily, things like that. So those are some considerations as well.
And if you're going to be camping during the winter, you might want to get yourself a heated water hose.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Another thing that I think is really critical, especially if you have pets, is a temperature monitoring system. What it'll do is it'll actually monitor the temperature. It'll actually monitor the power that's coming into your RV and the temperature range in your RV to make sure that it's a comfortable temperature. A lot of times with those temperature monitoring services, including the one that we have, you can set whatever that comfortable range is on the app, and it'll continue to monitor it. It'll send you text messages. It'll continue to monitor the humidity inside your camper, because humidity in a camper is deathly. It's terrible for the camper itself.
And that's a good point, like getting a dehumidifier to
help
with that humidity, because once it starts getting humid, you need that dehumidifier. Now, I will say for us, majority of the year with the way we travel, we don't run into that very often.
No, but we're in Florida right now, so guess what?
It is an issue right now, and so it's definitely something to consider. You can get just a plain dehumidifier. Those are great. You can also get the damp rid balls that will just absorb the water. Or Camco now has like a version of the damp rid balls that like are refillable, so you can just dump the balls out and pour more in. And so that's that's kind of what we use. We don't actually have a dehumidifier. We use those little damp rid balls.
Yeah, thanks Milani Creek Farm for the roses. I saw somebody ask, where do you buy it? I don't know which one you were asking about. He, I think, answered the question on the dehumidifier. But if you're asking about the temperature monitoring service, we actually use a system called Marcell. It's Marcell. We absolutely love it. And we partnered with them. They were kind enough to share out through us a $25 discount code for anybody who clicks on our link in our website and goes and makes a purchase to buy their product. But they'll send you text messages if the power goes out, if the humidity gets beyond a certain range that you set, and if the temperature gets beyond a certain range that you set. It's come in handy more times than not, because we were just out and about. We were exploring. Our pup was home in our camper, and all of a sudden we lost power because there was a storm that happened and where our camper was, not where we were. And we were able to get home and take care of her. Thanks for bearing with us when we had technical difficulties. Are we back on?
We are back on.
Okay, cool. We're back on. So I think we're good to keep going. So I think we covered all of the main things. Are you good to keep going, or do we need to stop?
No, we're good.
Okay. So I think we covered all of the must-haves. Do we have audio? No audio, they say.
It should be good now.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear me now? I'm gonna be the new spokesperson for Verizon. Can you hear me now? Okay, perfect. Thanks, Paul. There we go. Thanks, guys. All right, so I think
it got a little hot in here, so the camera ended up overheating. Luckily, I've got the fan on now. Hopefully, it won't overheat again.
Fingers crossed. But I don't think it cut off too soon. But I'll just repeat what I was saying just in case. So we have Marcell for our temperature monitoring service. If you click on our link in our bio, you can get $25 off one of those systems. We absolutely love it. It has been a game changer for us. We have used it more times than we can count. And it's been great to tell us if we lose power or if the temperature gets too hot or too cold for our dog to be here comfortably and safely. So it's been really nice for us. It's super critical to have that if you have pets. If you don't have pets, you probably don't have to worry about it as much, but it's kind of a nice to have.
Got a couple of bonus nice to haves. I mean, some of these are going to be things that you're just going to want to upgrade down the road, so you might want to save up for them. You may not need them right when you buy your RV, but they're really nice. Some of them you might really want immediately. I will say one of them, like somebody brought up already, was the TPMS. We have not had a TPMS system the entire time we've been traveling down the road.
We just manually check.
Manually
check it.
Yes. But a few other things are like you might want to upgrade. You probably want to upgrade at some point your RV locks.
Yeah, so it's pretty well known that most RVs will come with just a standard RV lock on them, and that is your RV lock for your doors to gain entry into your camper. Those, when I say standard, I mean standard. People can just, like, it's the same lock. It's the same keys. If you buy an RV and somebody else buys an RV, they all have the same locks on them. Your keys will work on their RV and their keys will work on your RV. And crazy, you can buy replacements, I think, on Amazon for just a couple of bucks. So if a thief really wants to break into your camper, it's not super difficult if they just buy a set of RV locks. So getting a separate RV lock system and installing that is going to be much safer, and is probably something that you want to upgrade to, if not right away, at least down the road.
Yeah, and another couple of things are you might want to have, like, you might need a specific set of sheets for your RV. So you might have, like, we have a full-size queen, but some RVs will come with what's called an RV king. Mm-hmm. And so you might need to have specific sheets that you buy just for that mattress, because it's not a standard size.
Right, and a lot of RVs will have, they call it an RV king or an RV queen. Those are not standard sizes. They're not the same as a residential queen or residential king. Now, thankfully for us, our camper came with a RV king, but the mat underneath it was big enough and long enough that we were able to replace it, and we replaced it with a full residential size queen mattress that we love. We got a purple mattress, which is great because it breathes really well, but it's really nice to have separate sheets, separate towels, separate, just stocked supplies in your RV, so that if you want to take a trip really quickly, or you need to bug out because there's bad weather coming or something, or something's going on, then your RV is fully stocked. So yes. It's just another nice to have. And then extra kitchen items, things like that, that you are gonna have to lug back and forth from your house to your RV if you're not full-time. Just being able over time to stock your RV full of all of those things, so you're not having to carry all of them back and forth every time you want to take a camping trip, is going to be another really nice to have thing.
Yeah, and Dwight Viles brings up first aid kit.
Oh, 100% first aid kit. We actually have two. We have one inside the camper, and we have one inside the truck as well. So if for some reason we're driving down the road, we're either not towing, we're not hooked up to the camper, or we are, and it's just an emergency that we need to bust out the first aid kit, we have one in the truck and one in the camper. That's a great call out.
For sure. And I think that's the only ones that I can think of right now. We'll keep an eye on chat, and if chat brings up anything great, we'll
toss it in.
We'll toss it in. But I think it's time
for our pick of the week.
Yep. And this week, since we're talking about cost,
we are talking about cost. This has been a lifesaver for us in saving costs. So maybe if you get into RV life and you hit an unexpected cost that we didn't think about, that we didn't cover, this might help offset it if you use this service.
Yeah, so it's called Open Roads. We are not sponsored by them. We're not affiliated with them. We just heard about it like so many other people did. If you've got a diesel truck or a diesel motorhome, then what it allows you to do is to get the discounted prices at truck dealerships, or not truck dealerships, at truck stops.
At fuel stops.
Fuel stops. So that way, and it's discounted, so like there'll be a number posted at the fuel stop. That's the regular rate. In the app, you can actually look and see, oh, hey, here it's cheaper, and you'll get a discount, and they apply that discount. The biggest thing I've heard from a lot of people that aren't happy about it is that it does have to hook up to your bank system. So I know that can be a little unnerving at times, but it is a great way to save money. And I mean, the costs are sometimes as much as $1 a gallon.
Yeah, most of the time we see costs 30 to 40 cents discounted from what's posted, but sometimes way, way more than that. So yeah, it's definitely a cost savings, especially if you're going to do a lot of travel in your RV and you have a diesel.
And again, it's called Open Roads. I believe Good Sam has one as well. They partnered with Pilot and Flying J, I think. That you can get a discount. We haven't used that one personally, so I can't speak to it. Open Roads has been great for this, and we've been using it for a year and a half now, and we couldn't be happier.
Yeah, we absolutely love it. Hey friends, thanks for camping out with us tonight. We'd love to stay connected. We are on live on Thursday nights on TikTok at 8 p.m. Central every Thursday. Like, comment, follow for more, and check out our website at beacons.ai/wanderingrvbabe. That's beacons.ai/wanderingrvbabe, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys!
Bye! So, I think we're up for Q&A at this point. Have we talked through everything?
I think we have, but first, a little story time.
All right. So it's kind of on the same topic this week, and it was really timely, so I thought it was kind of a funny thing. I was at the doctor earlier this week, and I don't know how, but we got on the topic of his home internet service. And mind you, he's not a full-time RVer, but we told him about our situation and what we do in our lifestyle of being full-time RVers. And so we got on the topic, and he started talking about his home internet service and how the cost has just skyrocketed, and it was super unexpected for him. But he also started talking about how terrible his internet service is for the cost that he's now paying. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, our internet was pretty shitty at our house too, and we were paying a lot of money for it, and we actually have better internet, better quality internet in our RV than we did at our house that we had before we sold it and went full time 2 years ago. So it was just a weird revelation of yeah, we're mobile, and yet we have better internet than you do.
I know. It's kind of weird.
Kind of weird.
It was one of those things of like, I guess, I will say we are paying more for our internet now than we were at the time, but we are paying for multiple sources of internet now, not just one single solitary. So between the ones that we have, even one on its own in certain areas is better than what we had at our home, and it's been really great. It's honestly, we've been able to do a lot of things that we didn't think we were going to be able to do, or we were worried that wasn't going to work for us. SnapNut calls out, the Starlink is now shipping across the U.S., full coverage everywhere. You don't have to get on a wait list anymore. So if you have bad internet at your home or you're in your RV life, although RVers could already get the Starlink anyways.
Yeah, we have Starlink as one of our internet connections. We absolutely love it. But yeah, I mean, it's a great source of internet. And now it's available for a lot more people, which is great.
Okay, chat,
we are up. Okay. If for some reason you asked a question that we did not get to, please pop it back in chat. Chat was scrolling really quickly. We are here for you. The show portion is actually over. The talk track is actually over, and the discussion is over. So we're here for you to just talk through. Pooter Beans, I feel like you're probably being a troll, but I'm going to give you kudos for creativity. No, you need to empty your black tank into the proper black tank dump. You know this. Come on. So I'll respond to you, but don't troll too much here. Hey Casey, what's going on? Yeah, Starlink for 2 weeks now. Transformative. I totally agree. We've had Starlink. How long have we had Starlink? We've had Starlink for about a year and a half now.
Yeah, we were in Kentucky when we got it. I remember that much, but I don't remember when that was. I want to say it's been longer than a year and a half now.
Yeah, I thought we got it when we were in... Yeah, maybe Kentucky. Yeah, maybe Kentucky. So that was like April of last year, May of last year, maybe. And what was crazy was... our dish actually broke, and Starlink was great. They just sent us a new one. We didn't know that it was broken. We just were having service issues, and Their service was pretty awesome. We've heard mixed reviews about their service, but we had a great experience with them, and they just shipped us out a brand new one, which was awesome.
I will say their customer service is slow, but it's like to like get the initial response going. But once I got that initial response, I mean, they were on it like that, and they had the new one shipped out to us. Now, unfortunately, I didn't realize, like, I changed our address in Starlink to make sure we would go to the right place. But there's a like the initial address, and then there's like the active address. It's really weird. So there's like two addresses that it has. And so I changed the wrong one, and so they shipped it to where we had originally had it. But luckily, we'd had it sent to a friend's house, and he was able to just send us the new dishy, and it worked out great.
Exactly. Caleb calls out a really good point. If you're in an area that has really high tree coverage or a lot of obstacles for dishy to be able to see the sky, it's not going to work really well. Because we travel in our RV, we've done it for 2 years. We sold our house 2 years ago and went full-time RV. I think there was a question about that. So hopefully I'm answering that. We know that sometimes we go to areas where there is a ton of tree coverage. In Olympic National Park, we were up there in Washington State earlier this year. There is no way Starlink was going to work. There were way too many trees. It was gorgeous, but there were way too many trees. So the other internet that we have is the T-Mobile hotspot, and it's a game changer. It's awesome. And the nice thing is, so like here in Florida, T-Mobile and Starlink both work really, really well. But our Starlink plan is one where we can just pause it and save the money each month if for some reason T-Mobile works really well for us. So that's another way to just kind of like save costs there.
Caleb, no, that's what they were talking about earlier in chat. Is as of I think it was earlier this week, Starlink is no longer has a wait list, as far as I understand. So no matter where you are, if you are in the U.S., you can get a Starlink at the time of ordering. You're not on a wait list anymore.
Yeah. Oh, so that's like hot off the presses then.
Yeah,
like brand new news.
Yes, that was. I literally got that email this week. Even though we already have our Starlink, I got that email and I was like, cool.
Well, hot dog. Hairstone asks, how often do you move? We actually, you have good timing, Hairstone. So I actually just posted a video to somebody who made a comment on one of our other videos asking the exact same thing. So we move, well, it was a little different. They were asking how far in advance do we plan our moves. But how often do we move? We generally try to target moving about every 3 to 6 weeks. We like to spend time in places and really get to know places. And so we don't like to travel too much because travel fatigue is a real thing. So we generally will move about every 3 to 6 weeks or so. Let's see. Have we ever tried to camp off grid? Yes, we have.
Yes, we did.
We have a fun story about that.
It didn't work out for us. So we were heading to a place that I knew was going to be all grass and would be very muddy, and it had been raining all day. And so we decided, I was like, it's cool enough outside. Let's just stay at a Cracker Barrel parking lot. Let's do it. We don't need
great.
We don't need the ACs. We can open up the windows, let the breeze blow through, and we did. We slept great. It was really, really great. It was really, really nice. But our batteries died. Our fridge runs off the batteries. It can't run off of propane like some of them out there. And so our fridge died overnight. And so we had to throw away everything in the fridge. Luckily, the freezer was okay, but we did have to throw everything away from the fridge. And so we figured out pretty quickly our batteries weren't strong enough to get us through the night. However, we did find out later the batteries were kind of on their last leg anyways, and so we've since replaced them. We have not tried going off grid yet again. Yeah. Because we need it to be cool enough so that way we don't need the AC to go off grid.
I mean, maybe this week. Well, no, this weekend's going to warm back up. We're actually waiting until it is cool enough for us to try it again while we're at a campsite so we can monitor it. And then if we need to plug in to shore power, we can. But we're not set up for, we're set up for solar, but we don't have a solar system. We don't have a generator. And because our fridge pulls a ton of power, we really have to be careful about that. So we're going to test it again at some point. We just have to make sure the conditions are right to do that. Mother Nature arrives sometimes. Do you have a plan for that? Yes. Hey, Dwight, thanks so much for the question. So we have 4 different weather apps between the two of us that we monitor all throughout the day, every single day. So if for some reason inclement weather is expected, we will just literally bug out because we're not going to take the risk. A camper is not designed to handle really terrible weather. You're literally in plywood, aluminum, and fiberglass. That's it. So it's not designed to handle high winds. It's not designed to handle like really, really terrible weather, lots of flooding, lots of hail, things like that. We have been in thunderstorms before in the camper. It's not fun, but we managed through it. But yeah, we just watch the weather. If for some reason something starts up and spins up really quickly and we're not able to bug out and move on, most campgrounds, if you're staying at a campground and not necessarily staying off grid, most campgrounds will have a designated storm shelter. And you should absolutely take advantage of that and go to wherever that storm shelter is. Make sure you know what that storm shelter is and where to find it, where to get to it as soon as you check in and get set up at your site. Let's see.
Kate Birdlegs. No, we did not upgrade to lithium. Lithium is still very expensive, and you have to replace your converter. So you have an inverter, which is what runs our fridge, and that takes 12 volt to 120 volt. And then you have a converter, which takes 120 volt to 12 volt, so you can charge the batteries and run all the electricity. So we'd have to put in a specific charger for the lithium batteries. They're already really expensive. Plus, you got to get the new charger. And lithium technology, or like battery technology in general, is changing really quick. So we kind of wanted something that was good enough to get us by for right now, because maybe down the road we might be wanting to put solar in, and that's going to be a whole different battery setup than what we've got right now. And we didn't want to put a ton of money into that portion of it, knowing that there may be other things that we want to do that will supplant that anyways.
Yeah. Caleb, you bring up a good point about wind. Yes, 1,000%. If you have an awning on your RV, you do not need to have your awning out unless you're out there enjoying it. Because if you're not, you never know when a wind, like a breeze, will come through and can rip off that awning. And it really doesn't take much wind to rip off an awning. The other thing to consider about wind is if you're planning a travel day and high winds are expected, make other plans. We've learned that the hard way. We got caught one time in winds that they were crosswinds that were up to 50-mile-an-hour gusts. And we had to pull over, wait for the winds to die down. I think it started off as like a 4 or 5 hour travel day, and it turned into like a 9-hour travel day. It was awful. But since then, we've learned to just not.
Yeah.
We make other plans. We generally we'll try to reach out to the campground that we're currently at, ask them if we can extend our stay by 24 hours, and then travel the next day. Or if we can't, which that's happened before too, we will find another campground that's really close by. The last time we got caught in a thunderstorm, we found a campground that was 20 minutes away. So we only had to be out in that weather for 20 minutes. And then we were able to stay put, stay stationary, and stay safe during that time. But yeah, wind is a huge factor as well, which is part of the reason why we have 4 different weather apps, is they all kind of give you different forecasts. I know it's kind of crazy, like you get crazy different forecasts with different things, but it gives us more data points for us to really make sure that we're going to be safe and not caught in crazy weather.
Edub, yes, we do have a grill. It's actually a smoker.
Yeah, it's a Traeger smoker, tailgater smoker.
Yeah, it's a Traeger. It's not their super portable one. It's their next level up. But it does have legs that fold in, so I can store it in the basement for travel days. I use it as a grill. I smoke meats on it all the time. We smoke veggies on it.
That's actually how we cooked the turkey last year for Thanksgiving, is on the smoker, and it was so good.
Yep. What was funny is we got a pre chopped up turkey. Basically, we got a big piece of breast, a couple of legs, and a couple of thighs, and I smoked them all differently, and it was really, really flavorful.
Yeah, it was super good. Yeah, Thomas, same thing. Yeah, I think if you've been camping for any length of time, you have an awning horror story. Either it's one that happened to you, or it's one that you witnessed happening to somebody else. just because it really doesn't take much to rip those awnings off.
Yeah. And Thomas said, yeah, he's a full-timer, so he knows that I don't think I've seen any actually get ripped off, but I have seen some, like billowing upwards, and I'm like, that's gonna get, if nothing else, that mechanism's gonna get damaged.
Yeah, it's gonna damage the arms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey, BMAC, what's going on? Yeah, we just posted the Campground Wave video, so I'm so glad you loved it. We were trying to be as farcical as we could, and as, like, extreme sarcasm as we could, but, I mean, it's kind of, it's rooted in truth, so I'm glad you loved it. It made us laugh, so I'm glad it made you laugh as well.
It was a fun one. We were just, it was a little weird because there were people out and about.
Oh yeah, we got some really weird looks.
And so we're like waving at nobody, and
there was a couple times because we were trying, like, we would shoot something a couple different times and we would just grab the best take of a particular shot. So we were just sitting there at times just kind of doing this, like waving and just grabbing the shot. So there were a couple people that were like, hi. Hi, you've already waved to me.
You already waved at me. You already said hi.
I mean, we kind of just got used to it at this point that we get weird looks at the campground when we're filming outside because it's just part of it. Let's see, what else? Yeah, high winds can sometimes be entertaining when it comes to the awnings, especially if you leave it out. Don't be the entertaining story. Put your awning in if you're not outside, and if you are outside and the wind, like, jumps back up, then go put your awning in then. LMFAO, you have a really cool username, bro, but your trolling is like an F. You failed troll school. Oh my gosh, I've never heard 2 men in a truck. I really feel like this says a lot more about your insecurities that you can't handle a girl with short hair than it does about either one of ours. So keep on trying, bro.
That's funny.
Do you need a refill?
I do need a riffle.
All right, let's do a refill. Do you want to do a French 75 this time? Still have some sparkling wine.
Go for it.
Let's do it. I picked up cocktail making during the pandemic. It was kind of a hobby, which I'll say it's a really fun hobby.
It's a pretty good hobby to have.
It's a pretty good hobby to have, but I picked it up during the pandemic when we were all home. We had nothing else better to do. And so I carried that over into the RV when we sold our house and started doing the full time. You got a sip left, man. Like,
so do you.
I do too, yeah. There we go. All right, French 75 is coming right up. Keep the troops entertained.
Spencer, hi, what's up? Gopher 2, don't know what that means. Where are you located? We are in, Northwest Florida right now. We're hanging out, enjoying the weather, although it's been raining for the past 2 days, and so it's, like, cool, but it's not, like, cool enough, so it gets, like, really, really humid, unfortunately, and so, like, I think the temperature outside right now says it's 69 degrees. We had a high of 71, but it actually got hot enough earlier for those who weren't here. It got hot enough in here that the camera actually shut down due to overheating. So it's
a weird temperature right now.
It's a very awkward temperature. Spencer, thank you. You can buy the hat. It is on our if you go to our bio, whatever.
Our profile page.
If you go to beacons.ai/wanderingrvbabe and beacons.ai.
You can find it in our profile.
It's Wandering Babe swag. We have this hat, we have a fanny pack, and then we have a couple of shirts. Don't buy the shirts right now. We actually are revising them. I mean, feel free to buy them right now. If you like them the way they are, nothing's changing but the color of the text. So if you like them the way they are with the goldish yellow text on them, go ahead and buy them. But they're real fun. It's part of our Big Rig Club
line.
Big Rig Club line. So we have. I can't really show it right now very easily, but there's one that's like size matters, and it's just like a big nope on a small camper. So a bunch of those. It's called yes, I'm a bad salesperson. Don't buy it right now. Wait, because I'm updating the designs. No, I'm a good salesperson because I want you to have the best, and I put a lot of effort into the new design. So we're going from a goldish yellow to a marbled white. So I'm really excited about this. But it's our hashtag Big Rig Club. It's really cool. I think it's hashtag Big Rig MV. I don't remember. It's
Big Rig Club.
Big Rig Club. Yep. Yes. Yes, we are close to Navarre. We're
Navarre, I think.
I just totally.
They have a great sushi restaurant in Navarre.
Navarre Beach. Yeah, there's the Slippery Mermaid has some amazing sushi. Wanda says, "Welcome to Florida weather." Yeah, it's miserable and comfortable all at the same time. Matthew,
we're used to crazy weather. We're from Texas.
It's true, we are. Texas right now is actually warmer than Florida, which...
Interesting.
I don't mind that too much because I wanted to have good, comfortable temperature. The problem is because of the tropical storm, we're getting all this rain and we're actually cooling down more, and so I can't go enjoy the pool. That's my big problem.
It's okay. We'll be able to enjoy the pool this weekend.
How far are y'all from Gainesville? Quite a long way from Gainesville. We are Gainesville's is middle Florida. We're all the way we're near Pensacola.
Yeah, but we were in Gainesville earlier this year, and we had a blast while we were there.
Matthew, we have a Sandpiper 39 Bark, B-A-R-K. I don't know what the B-A is supposed to stand for, but everybody just calls it the Big Ass Rear Kitchen because we have a big ass rear kitchen. How long you plan on staying there? We are here, so we actually have the site booked all the way through December 4th because we've been going to a doctor here locally to get her foot taken care of, and we wanted to be able to keep going back to the same doctor. And so we're booked through December 4th, but we actually have plans for Thanksgiving week to go meet family, so that week we'll go meet up with family. Ooh, it's so pretty.
It's so pretty. I know. Look at that.
Thomas says he's in Glen Rose. Nice. I don't know if you've ever had a French 75. It is an amazing drink if you like gin.
Yes. And we, instead of using simple syrup, we use Saint Germain for our French 75, so it's a little bit boozier, which is super fun. Desert heat is different. So it's funny, you mentioned Texas, and welcome to Florida weather. Florida weather is actually more consistent than Texas weather. We're from Texas. We were born and raised there. Well, you were born in California, but you got to Texas as quickly as possible.
I was born on a military base, and that military base just happened to be in California.
That is very true. But we were raised in Texas, and Texas weather is really, really extreme. Much more extreme than Florida. There's a reason why we winter in Florida, even though we're from Texas. And it's because, last year, during Christmas, it got down to -2 degrees. Not wind chill, the actual temperature was -2 degrees the week of Christmas. We've had Christmases where it was 80 degrees in Texas, and that can happen really, really quickly. We've had times where we went through all 4 seasons in one day. So yeah, Texas is a little nuts when it comes to the weather.
Matthew, you work on RVs part-time. You want to come hang out with us? I'll make you some dinner. I need somebody to look at the ACs because we have a leak and we can't find it. And both of them leak. Now, so it rained today and yesterday was really light, and so we didn't have any leaking from that. But when it's really hard, and I think it's more when it comes in from an angle, it gets somewhere into the AC unit and it leaks through.
And it started that after we went through a couple of days, in a row, of really terrible storms when we were in Colorado Springs earlier this year, where we had pretty significant hail. I mean, it was like golf ball size hail.
It was big.
And that's when it started doing it. But Matthew actually brings up a really good point. Most of the time when you are RVing, generally, you can find a mobile RV tech. And the thing that I love about our mobile RV techs, and really even service departments as well, they are there to teach you. So they're not just going to do the work, they actually will teach you. We had a mobile RV tech come and take a look early on at our, what was it? It was our water pump, or it was our
Yeah, it
water...
was our water pump.
Yeah.
It was running all the time.
Yeah.
And we couldn't figure out what was going on. Apparently, it had cracked, and so we had to get our water pump replaced.
When it froze in Texas, by the way.
And I didn't know where the water pump actually was on our model. There weren't a lot of documents for our specific model at the time, so I couldn't find where in the RV the pump was even at. And so he immediately knew where to find it. He went ahead, like he didn't like charge me for the water pump. He like told me what to buy and said, "Hey, I'll come back. You know, you go ahead and pick it up. I'll come back in a day or two and we'll install it and I'll show you how to get it all set up and everything." And so he came back. We got it all done. Easy peasy. Like, I bought the water pump, and I was like, now that I know where it's at, I was like, I just kind of want to do it. But at the same time, I did want to, like, at least pay attention a little bit, since it was new. We'd been in the RV.
Didn't he, like, let you help him?
Oh, I did quite a bit of the work, yeah.
Yeah. And so we were able to learn as we went, which was super, super awesome. And what we found is most RV techs will do that, which is really cool, because then they teach you how to fix it next time, so you don't have to call them and pay that big expense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if anybody's water pump messes up, I know how to replace it now.
Yeah, so definitely good stuff. Oh, Scottish Nana, how are you?
No, we don't do any hunting or fishing.
I know, we're gonna let you down on that one. We're more the glamping
Sorry,
type.
Pellet Jack. We fishing gear, we just didn't really want to have to, like, store it, and hunting just involves waking up way too damn early for me.
That's very true.
I have a lot of friends in Texas who hunt, and I just discovered that I'd rather pay them by cooking dinner for them and letting them wake up super early to go do the hunting, and they give me meat, and then I cook it, and, like, life's good.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no, we get a lot of our meat from our hunting friends, especially like the meat that's harder to find. But yeah, it's just easier for us. We're kind of more the glamping type.
Yeah.
So we like to hit up all the wineries and distilleries and breweries along the way, you know, whenever we're traveling different places and going to different destinations. So we're with you if you want to grab a beer, but if you want to go hunting or fishing, we're probably not going to be your camping or
But
camping
if you
friends.
go hunting or fishing and you want somebody to cook you a really damn good meal, I'm your man.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Jesse, what's going on, my
friend? Terry says, what's the recipe for the French 75?
Oh, it's actually pretty easy. So we do 1 ounce of fresh lemon juice, 1 ounce of Saint Germain, 2 ounces of, so I'm doing like counting on my hands now, 2 ounces of gin, and then you just top it off with sparkling wine and do a little lemon twist on top. So express that lemon essence on top, run it along the rim, and then pop that lemon twist in there.
Yeah, Matthew, it couldn't build pressure. Yeah, exactly. That's why the water pump wasn't shutting off. It was cracked. It was leaking. I did find some water in the basement, but because we would only use the pump on travel days, like, by the time I got in there, it would, like, be pulled towards the center, so I didn't know where it was coming from. And obviously the pump was just running, like, it sounds really easy and simple once you think about it, but in the moment it was like kind of this confusing concept of, like, is the water dripping down from the top? Is the pump maybe somewhere up there? Or because we knew the pump was being weird, we knew that water was pooling, but we didn't know what all was connected to what at the time. So yeah, it was definitely a weird scenario, but yeah, it basically couldn't build pressure, so we just keep running and just spewing water everywhere.
Yeah. Hey Stan, what's going on? Cody, have we ever tried Peach Crown and Fresca? No, we haven't. That sounds intriguing, but I will also say I'm not a super big fan of sweet drinks in general at all. I have a sweet tooth, but only when it comes to food. When it comes to drinks, not so much. And any kind of, like, peach flavored liquor tends to be really, really sweet. So if you can promise me that it's not too sweet, then that might be something we'll try, but I'm always a little leery of it. Are we watching the game? We're not watching the game. What game is on? The Cowboys are not playing, so I kind of don't like. I tune out if the Cowboys aren't playing unless it's the postseason.
It's Chiefs versus Broncos, and the Chiefs are winning right now.
Oh well, there we go. I actually really like the Chiefs, so I'm game for the Chiefs to win.
There was one more question.
Favorite pie?
Hold on. I want to answer some older questions here real quick.
Oh, okay, Bunny, we'll get to you.
Yeah, you're reading it from the bottom. We need to read from the top.
Oh, okay.
Pellet Jack says, "I hear you, bro. What kind of toys do you have?" Toys. So I have a smoker. So I love to smoke meat. So that's one of the things. Like if you go hunting, bring me some fish or some beef or venison. I'll cook you up something.
Oh, his venison chili is on point.
Toys. I've got a gaming PC that I love to play video games on.
You got is that a PS5? Up there?
I do have a PS5, but we really mostly use that for watching Blu-rays at this point because I do most of my gaming on the PC. What else? What other toys do we have? I
don't know. We don't have a lot of shit because we full-time RV and you can't store a lot of shit in an RV. So we spend most of our money just like going and doing stuff and exploring and doing cool things. Although we recently got a brand new camera that overheated a minute ago, but it's good quality camera.
It overheated because it got hot in here because...
It did get hot in here. I was chilled earlier because it did get a little chilly today with the front coming in, but then as soon as we turned everything off to, like, just get the temperature regulated, it got way too hot way too quick, so whatever. But we do have a new camera, which is super cool, and then we also got some new cool microphones to... do some of our videos. So I don't know if those are like the toys you were thinking of, but hopefully that helps. I don't know.
We've got some self-defense pew-pews that we love to go to the range with. So
we have some equalizers.
Equalizers. Yeah.
Equalizers. We do have some equalizers. But yeah, those are fun.
Favorite pie now. Okay.
Favorite pie. So I told you I don't have a sweet tooth when it comes to drinks. I do have a sweet tooth when it comes to food. My favorite pie, and I don't know that I can choose between the two. I think if I was presented with both of these pies, I probably would just get a small slice of both. And they're polar opposites, but they go amazing together. A traditional cherry pie and a lemon chess pie. I love them both equally. I cannot choose between those two children. What's your favorite pie? You're not a big pie fan.
I feel like it'd have to be like some sort of like cheesecake or something.
Maybe a cheesecake, although I could totally see you taking a different direction with it and going with like a pizza pie.
Okay, yes, I'm going with pizza pie. I like that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite kind of pie is pizza pie.
There you go. Yeah, he's not really a dessert fan, so it works out because I have a sweet tooth. He does not. Neither one of us can bake. So it saves us a ton on just eating crap we should not eat.
No, we do not have a golf cart.
Mm-mm.
Yes, we are husband and wife.
You can rent golf carts sometimes at certain campgrounds.
They're expensive.
They can be, yeah.
I'd rather just drive my truck around.
Yes.
It's funny. So we were at this campground last fall.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody, pretty much everybody just... It was like...
It was really spread out, which was nice.
It was like 70% full-timers and like 30% maybe transients. And so pretty much all the full-timers in, I shouldn't say full-timers, long-termers.
Yeah.
They actually, all of them pretty much had golf carts. But we were so far apart, and so when we wanted to go hang out at somebody's site, we would drive the golf cart. Well, some of the sites were actually out on the road, so they would park their cars out on the road, and then their site was on the inside, and so they would only drive a golf cart. And so the trees had kind of grown around to where you could really just barely fit a small car through the trees. Well, we went over to hang out with them a couple of different times, and I was like, you know what? We don't have a golf cart. They're all the way over there. So I drove the truck, and I would just drive right through those little openings, and
it worked.
I had the biggest, best golf cart there.
What was funny was we would drive around with all the windows down too, and then there were folks that, for some reason we all decided to migrate and go somewhere else, like to somebody else's campsite, because we kind of did this. They had this really cool thing that they did where people would, and they would coordinate. It was on a certain day, but it was basically like a monthly adult trick or treat. So people would make a whole big thing of cocktails, and you would go around to different people's campsites and try out their different cocktails, which was great and super, super fun. So when there was enough people and there was overflow and people couldn't fit on golf carts, they would actually just fit in the back of our truck bed. And that was super, super fun as well. So yeah, no golf carts here, but we have a truck that can do the job. Rip, I thought my comment was funny. I didn't see your comment, so if we missed it, put it back in there.
Rhonda, thank you so much. We really appreciate that you think we have a calming vibe. We try to just have fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
We just try to be ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, there's too much like shit on the internet, so we like to just kind of be your bright spot for the day and keep it lighthearted. So I'm glad that comes through. What else we got?
What is shoe fly pie? I want to know what that is.
I don't know. Are y'all punking us? What is shoe fly pie? We might have to look it up. Or you just tell us what it is.
I think he says he says it's a custard pie.
Oh, a custard. Oh, okay. I can get behind a custard pie.
Yeah, sorry if your comment got filtered out and it was actually funny and valid. Great. If it was a snarky, or if it was a
if it's snarky, that's cool.
Well,
if
yeah,
it's trolly, not so cool.
If it was a rude trolly comment, then I'm not sorry that it got filtered.
Ooh, Alan, good question. Chili with beans or without? Well, okay. I have an answer to that. Do you want to answer it, or do you want me to answer it?
It's not called chili if you put beans in it.
It's called beef stew. No. Rip, I'm sorry it got filtered out then. If it wasn't rude, then hopefully,
find a new way to say it.
Find a new way to say it, and maybe it won't get filtered. There is an automatic filter. He's monitoring chat as well, but there is an automatic filter, so that could be a TikTok thing.
Yeah.
That we can't do. Beans, okay. Noodles, no. Noodles? People put noodles in chili? No. See,
you don't put. See, but they're not putting noodles in chili because it's not chili. Just like if you're putting beans in it, it's not chili at that point. It's just not chili.
It's just beef stew at that point, and it's very tasty beef stew. Like, I absolutely like beef stew, but and with the beans is totally great, but it's just not chili.
Yes, Cody, we did own a home. We had it for a little over 2 years, and we sold it. We do still have jobs.
Yeah. we do have jobs, day jobs still. We don't do social media for a living. It's just a fun hobby for us. But yeah, we do still have jobs. They're remote jobs, which is great because now we're able to travel. But yeah, we had a home. It was almost 3,000 square feet. And there were a number of circumstances that kind of happened that we were like, hey, we could do full-time RV life now rather than when we're retired, which was our original retirement plan. So we sold our house 2 years ago, and then hit the road.
Y'all are starting to hit all the anti-Texan beats, because I guarantee you ask any Texan across, at least every Texan I've ever met, it ain't chili.
It's not chili if it has
got beans in it. Sorry, guys. I don't know what the Cincinnati chili is. That ain't Texas chili. And believe me, Texas chili is going to light your mouth on fire. And it's probably made with venison.
The best one is made with venison. It's so stinking good. He makes the best chili that I've ever had, but he also makes the best, like, venison chili as well. St. Elmo's Fire. It's an actual drink, actually a whiskey. Oh, what are the ingredients? I have not heard of this. If it's a real drink and it's not like a weird drink, then I kind of need this in my life. I need to try it at least once. So you got to tell me what the ingredients are.
It is such a weird thing to say. Like, if it's a real drink, I want to drink it. Well, okay. So you just want to drink everything? If it's a real drink.
I mean, if it has whiskey in it, then yes. Moonshine, cayenne pepper, cinnamon. Wait, so moonshine whiskey? How do you make moonshine whiskey? I'm so confused.
Yeah, moonshine's not whiskey. Sweet Woman is a van lifer. What's up, van life?
Nice, van life. Okay. We haven't had too many van lifers join us on live, so I'm so curious. What are, like, I'm sure you get asked this question all the time. We get asked this question all the time, but I have to know. What is like the best part of van life, and then what's like the most challenging part of van life? Y'all are great. Thank you so much. Getting my first RV soon from Texas. Yes, working in Arizona. Excited to get one. That is amazing, Lozilla. What are you looking for? Like, what kind of camper? Like, do you know exactly what you're gonna get? Or are you still kind of feeling it out? Because it's really interesting to hear why people choose the camper that they chose, and if they like it or they're wanting to trade up or do something different. So I'm curious, like, what's your plan? What's your strategy? Let's see.
Meredith.
What else? Have we missed any comments? Merritt, I have no idea what you're talking about, man. You're going to have to give us more context.
You might.
I need more words.
Yeah. Yeah, so Cody said that's where they're at. They're selling everything to go hit the RV life.
I love that. I love that. So it's such a fun community, and there's so many people that are willing to help and here to help, and there's so many online resources. But it's funny, we've been like recognized, I think 3 or 4 times now, which is very, very weird for us. We just kind of started this on a whim, this like social media presence thing on a whim, kind of just to keep our family updated and our friends updated on what we were doing and what was going on with us. And then it kind of started to take off a bit. And so it's been really interesting to connect with people because they see us online first, as opposed to just like connecting with people in the RV life. But either way, it's a super, super fun community.
Okay, I love this question from Zach. Who's worse? Cocky, young, rich, new RV guys, or nosy, rude old couples?
Young, rich, new, not an issue at all. I'm kind of choosing between cocky and like the nosy, rude old couple. And when I say old couple, like, it doesn't necessarily even have to be that old. Like nosy people or rude people in general.
Yeah, I think the old couple part is not even relevant. It's the nosy. The nosy Karens that I think
the nosy rude people. So we have a funny story about this, recent story about this. The previous site that we were at our current campground, wasn't long enough for the truck to be on the same site as the camper. Sometimes that happens. You run into that occasionally, and it's fine. It happens. But we were right by one of the bathhouses that also had like laundry facilities and things like that. And there were 4 parking spots. Now, at least one of them, we can't tell for sure because the signage wasn't really clear, but at least one of those spots was a handicap spot, which is fine. So there were at least 3 parking spots total. And so we had asked the office, like, hey, can we just park at one of the spots? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. So we were parking over at the bathhouse, which was right across the way from our site. And then last week, somebody complained, even though we were in the site that was farthest away from the walkway and everything else, but somebody complained to the office that we were parked there and that it was impeding their ability to do their laundry. And I was like, come again? You're complaining because we're parked in a parking spot? And by the way, these parking spots are not labeled. If it was labeled and it said short-term parking or it said bathhouse only parking, totally get it. That would be one thing. It wasn't. And so I was like, really? So the campground was super sweet. Like, they're just trying to kind of manage. They're trying to manage. Like, they have to like try to cater to everybody and try to keep the peace. I totally get it. It wasn't their fault. But they were very nice. They accommodated us. They let us move a couple sites down to a site that was a lot larger, and so now we can park on our same site, which was great. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go with like the rude campground Karens would be my thing that is worse.
I think we have a term for them. They're called RV bros. The cocky the cocky RVers, especially the younger cocky RVers who just like blast down the road at unsafe speeds, not properly set up so they're not wiggling all over the road, or they're blasting through the campsites,
or they're overweight for their vehicle.
They're like, ooh, and they're
That's
like sagging
scary.
badly. Yes, like I call them RV bros, and they are they're the worst only because they're dangerous.
Yeah, totally agree.
A nosy RV person, not a big deal. Like, I can deal with Campground Karen. She's, I keep our distance.
You can kind of ignore them.
Yeah.
I like it brings out the like bring it on kind of vibe for me. But yeah, the
cocky RV
bros.
RV bros are the worst.
Yeah. Hey Suka, what's going on? Fuel. So best way to save money on fuel when you travel.
So we talked about this during the show. So Open Roads, TSD, I think. I don't know what all. Open Roads. Look up Open Roads. Basically, it's a discount program where effectively
It's for diesel though.
It's only for diesel, yeah, and you can basically get a discount at truck stops, like actual truck gas stations, not at the regular fuel station. You have to go to the truck side, so it's really only recommended if you're large enough for that to make sense. But yeah, that's Open Roads is honestly the only way to save money. Good Sam has a partnership with Pilot and Flying J. It's nowhere near as lucrative, so I just have the one that we have, and it works really well for us.
Yeah. So Lozillo, you said you're gonna start with an ultralight. So remind me, are you gonna go full time? If you're gonna go full time, ultralights, they're made ultralight, which means that they use like the cheapest products. So it might be great, but just know you're probably gonna have a lot more maintenance issues and things that just kind of break on it than a camper that's made a little bit more well built. If you don't know if the truck can handle it, so there's an easy way to know if the truck can handle it. In your driver's side door, there's going to be a sticker somewhere that'll tell you the weight of the tow capacity of your truck and the payload capacity of your truck. So payload is actually like everything you put inside the truck. But the tow capacity is what you can tow behind your vehicle. Target a camper that has a gross vehicle weight, because there's going to be a sticker on the camper as well that'll tell you the gross vehicle weight of the camper as well as the dry weight of the camper. Target a camper that has a gross vehicle weight, which means all of your shit that goes into the camper doesn't go beyond this weight, that is 20% less than what you can tow. Because that 20% buffer is going to really help you if you go on overpasses, if you go on hills, mountains for sure. We went through the Rockies this year, and I am so glad we had that extra 20% because it made it a breeze. Whereas if you don't have that, your truck's going to be struggling to get through some of those passes. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, I would definitely say if you're going full time, I personally would not go with an ultralight because you're gonna have a lot of maintenance issues with it, and that like kind of kills the experience to a certain degree. But I get it if that's like what you can do right now with the vehicle that you have or the budget that you have. You can also check the used market though. Used campers are great campers. There's a lot of people who will get them new. Now you don't get the warranty necessarily that comes with it. Warranties don't cover everything. But you don't get the warranty, so that's kind of the trade-off. But there's a lot of people that will take it out, they'll buy a brand new camper, they go out 2 or 3 times, and then like, okay, this life's not for me, or life changes and they're not able to utilize the camper, and so sometimes you can get a really great used camper for a lower cost, and that's really helpful too. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that helps. What else we got? I'm new, just got my first RV. Mama Bear, that's amazing. What kind of RV do you have? I'm so curious. And do you love it? And is there anything new about RV life that you like weren't expecting?
William Walters brings up a great point for you, Lozilla. Make sure all your holding tanks are empty. Like that's a great way to reduce the cost, especially if you're worried about whether or not your truck can handle it or not.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
that gross vehicle weight rating is like what it maximum can hold. Your unloaded vehicle weight rating is what it is like, or it is like what it is stock out the door with no propane, no water, no nothing in it. And so if you can get your unloaded weight rating low, or your unloaded weight low enough with the camper you buy, even if the gross vehicle is a little over, if you can keep that low and you just monitor what you're putting into it, make sure you have empty holding tanks. Obviously, propane is the big one that you're going to have to carry around with you, so you do need to account for that. But again, basically, you're adding up to that 20% rule. So your truck handles, say your truck handles 5,000 pounds. We're just going to use that number or maybe we'll use 10,000 because that's an easier number to work with. So that means at max, you don't want to be carrying anything over 8,000 pounds. Well, if your dry weight for your camper, your unloaded weight for your camper is like 6,000 pounds, but the gross vehicle weight is 10,000 pounds. You don't have to put 4,000 pounds of stuff in there. You can only put 2,000 pounds of stuff in there, and but you have to monitor that at this point, and you have to control that. And one of the things that you can do to help keep that weight down is having empty tanks and stuff like that. So if you're measuring everything, so like our camper is 12,000 pounds dry, 16,000 pounds gross. But we're only sitting at 14,000 pounds. Like, we've gone to the CAT scale and measured it.
Oh, yeah. Fun fact. CAT scales, they're available at most truck stops, and there's an app that you can download where you literally just drive onto the CAT scale, you tap go on the app, and it will measure your truck, and then it, like, measure all of the different parts. It'll measure your truck, it'll measure the trailer, it'll measure the weight on each of the axles, and it'll give you, like, a printout that you could either print or you just save it as a photo or whatever. Of that. So it's really helpful to like monitor your weight if you're ever curious about that.
It doesn't show towing capacity on a sticker. It shows gross vehicle weight rating only. That might be accurate. It's not hard to look. I think that is accurate.
Okay. Sorry. I maybe misspoke there.
So gross vehicle weight rating is basically your combined weight. So you can get some of that information you can glean some of the information from that. So your payload capacity of your vehicle is basically its dry weight minus its gross vehicle weight rating, and that has to do with your hitch, like the RV, how much weight is it putting onto either the bumper or onto the axle if you've got a fifth wheel. But there's a lot of things you can glean from that, but it's really not hard to look up what your actual towing capacity is. Almost every truck dealership is going to have some sort of document on their website where it's really easy to look up by year, look it up. Model, engine, transmission, axle ratio, all of those things. It is a lot to look up. I understand, and it can be a little overwhelming. Sorry, just saw a comment and it made me laugh a little bit. But you can absolutely get that up. So if you've got a Ford, a Ram, or a Chevy, they have this information on their website, and you just put in your year. You just look for your year, whether you've got a quad cab, a whatever they call the in-between, or a single cab, bed length, 4x4, all of those different things, what engine's in there, and you'll eventually figure out what your towing capacity. So like our towing capacity is 26, I think it's, 26,000 pounds, I think, if I remember correctly. I don't remember now.
No, I don't remember.
And so that's just what you can...
I knew it at one point.
But that's just what you can pull behind you. The gross vehicle weight rating has to do with your payload. What can be on the two axles of your truck? So again, like I said, that's the hitch weight of the RV onto the truck and how much weight that's putting on it.
Yeah. Me and my family are thinking about buying an RV and living in it. I love that. That's what we do. So yeah, we definitely agree. You should do it. You should take that plunge. It's super fun. Mama Bear, cruiser. I'm a trucker, so I only stayed in it 1 day in 5 months. Oh, you should stay in it a lot more. But totally get it. That makes total sense. Also, shout out to our trucker friends. They literally keep our economy going. If you have an RV and you're on the road with our trucker friends, be courteous. Like, if you stop at a rest stop or something, stop for 5 minutes to go pee and then move on. don't take up a spot for them overnight or something like that. We have so many more options as RVers, whereas our trucker friends do not have all those options, and they have like mandatory sleep times and drive times that we don't have. So like, just be on the lookout for that. Be courteous. I can't tell you the number of times we've been driving down the road, and because we were courteous to our trucker friends, they were courteous to us, and it truly helped us out by either avoiding crazy traffic, by taking an alternate route, or just by general like courteousness at the truck stops and the fuel stops and things like that. So yeah, big shout out to our trucker people.
Pork chop. So you say only 14,000 pounds. Those things are death traps. Well, I agree and I disagree. It's only a death trap if you're driving it dangerously. I mean, if you're taking care of yourself. I mean, a heavier trailer is not better. And when you're talking about if you're trying to avoid like having a dually, then that's kind of the sweet spot, honestly.
Yeah.
And yes, somebody brought up, yes, gross combined vehicle weight rating. I think that's what our 26,000 pounds is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that might be accurate because we don't have a dually. Yeah.
Hey, Sassy, what's going on, my friend? How are you tonight? Sassy's one of our MVPs. She's one of our moderators, and she's awesome.
Max Crucial says 9 years of boondocking.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so you got to tell us your boondocking ways. Like, give us some tips in the chat on, like, the best, like, way to boondock.
And then keeping up with the... I'm sorry, it cuts your name off. Keeping up with the... Joneses, there we go. ... Yeah, just, for me it showed ... but I guess up there it actually shows the names. So,
oh, okay, great.
You just upgraded to a dually. Does that mean you're getting a bigger camper? 20% rule in effect, and I'm going to be looking stuff up. 2014 Ram, 5.7 here. Thank y'all. So, 2014, 5.7, you're, depending on what your axle ratio is, you're looking at anywhere between, if I remember correctly, because I had a 2019 Ram, so it's not going to be exact, but it's probably anywhere between 8,000 and 11,000 pounds. And so obviously then you take your 20% off of that.
Yeah. So when you had your 1500 though, it was a 2019, but you had your 1500 and you said something about you didn't have some sort of something.
Yeah,
so you were on the lower end of the tow capacity versus the higher end of the tow capacity for that vehicle.
So because of the axle ratio that mine came with, it had better fuel economy, but because of that axle ratio, I was limited to, I think, 9,800 towing capacity, whereas if I'd had the better axle ratio, I think it got all the way up to like 11,000, and then some of the newer ones are all the way up to like 12,000 now, but... so that's why I'm guessing, like, 2014, you're probably in that 8,000 to 10,000 range would be my guess.
And what I will say about that as well, when you go to search for an RV and you're looking to buy an RV, if you go to a dealership, they are 100% going to try to sell you on an RV that is too heavy for your vehicle. We had that happen a number of times, and we just really had to put up those boundaries to say, no, don't show us anything that has a gross vehicle weight rating above this amount. Because yeah, there's some pushy salespeople that will absolutely try to sell you something that is above what you can handle. You need to know that as an informed consumer going in so that you can make sure to get a camper that is appropriate for your tow vehicle.
Yeah, keeping up with the Joneses brings up a great point about pin box weight. So that's what we're talking about, the payload weight.
Payload.
What your kingpin is putting onto the axle. So interesting point. Though.
That only is applicable to a fifth wheel, right?
Yeah, but it's also like your weight of your...
the weight of the hitch.
Is
okay.
Also, what you're putting on the bumper pool is still part of that. So, interesting note. So they said their Chevy was limited to only 2,400 pounds. So a lot of that has nothing to do with your axles. So having a dually matters because it actually has the most to do with your tires. So you can actually upgrade what you can handle with your pin box by potentially getting heavier duty tires. That is a thing that can be done. You can also get additional leaf springs put in if you need that. So you don't always have to go to a dually immediately if you need more weight, but it is definitely one of the best options to go for.
Yeah, I feel like we're scrolling through the comments really, really quickly, so let's go back a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that. That's what I'm trying to do, and you keep jumping.
I know, I'm sorry. Go for it. Go ahead. Continue to moderate, sir. Continue to moderate.
Keeping Up with the Joneses said for sure they are definitely getting a bigger camper.
It's fun.
So, now to the older stuff. Are you a part of any groups? This is from Mama Bear. Are you a part of any groups for camping, and which is best?
I don't know if you're I don't know if you're talking about like discount programs or communities. In terms of discount programs, we like to use. We're not really a part of any established communities. I will say that. Other than like just the communities at the campgrounds that we're at, and then also the like online community, which is great. But in terms of discount programs, we actually love to use Good Sam. They give you a great discount at most places. We use Passport America. What else? Those are the two primary ones.
Those are really the primary ones. But
Yeah.
I think there are Facebook groups out there that are a great thing to be a part of, that you can get to know other people and hear their advice and get information from them. Obviously, TikTok's a really good resource.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Us and many others on here talk about everything. So, next question. From Adam, the age-old question that gets asked many, many times from people who just don't know. Do you ride in the back while pooling?
No. So, fun fact, it actually is legal in a few states. That does not mean it's safe. So, unless you're in a motorhome where you're driving the actual RV itself and you've got the AC, you've got the amenities in there, it's meant to be driven as one solid unit, it's truly not safe to travel in the back of a towable RV. There's a couple reasons for that. One, it can get really stinking hot in an RV. The reason why we know that is because we have a temperature monitoring program or temperature monitoring service in our RV that will tell us when the temperature gets way above where it needs to be, and it can get in the triple digits back here while we're traveling down the road. So it's really not safe to do that because of the temperature. The power's not on, the AC's not on, you're not getting any relief whatsoever. You're literally sweating in a hot box if you're back here. The other reason is every time you travel down the road in your RV, if you're carrying a towable RV, it is like, I think a couple different resources have compared it to like a 3 or 4 on the Richter scale of an earthquake just the whole time that you're traveling down the road. So not only are you stinking hot in the RV, but you're just like bouncing down the road the entire time. It's really just not safe. That's why we don't do it. That's why you should never have your pets back here, your kids back here, nothing. Just because it's legal in some states doesn't mean it's okay in every state.
So, Cody, you're going to need to give us the full story on this. He says several years ago, he arrived home from work to find out the wife had bought a 39-foot bumper pool.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I love your wife. That's amazing. And yes, I need to hear this story.
Yep.
And like, do you still have the trailer? Did you immediately
Do you still have the wife?
Do you still have the wife? Did you immediately take a camping trip? Like, I need to know. I need more details.
Dude, I think Sassy got you on this one, but yeah, 8,500 pounds. Just it's the 20% rule is kind of the best way to go about it.
Yeah. Take 20% off of that. That is the max that you should get for a camper.
CD Hall Trucking LLC. There are lots of websites out there. I think Sassy got you on that one as well. And we got Sassy and our Boundless Venture talking about airbags going back and forth.
Hey, our Boundless Venture, what's going on? How are you guys?
I'm gonna give my assessment of what airbags do or don't do. So here's the thing.
He's the driver, Ryan. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about with that, so let's let him go.
So airbags, they don't technically, as far as my understanding goes, they don't technically help with being able to load more weight. All it does is adjust how your rear sits so that way you can have a more level drive down the road. Now, I say that they do have an effect, but how much of an effect, I don't know exactly. I would go off of whatever your manufacturer tells you is the amount that you can load up. If your truck comes with airbags from the manufacturer, then that's your number. If the manufacturer of the airbags that you added after the market says you can add 200 extra pounds, then go off of that. So go with whatever the manufacturer tells you, not random internet Joe Blow off the street. Every manufacturer is going to give you the information. My truck has airbags from the factory, so when Ram tells me what my payload capacity is, I'm there. That is with the airbags in mind. If I add airbags after the fact, if the manufacturer of the airbag says I can add a few hundred pounds, then I do. If it doesn't say that, then I'm not going to add. I'm not going to put additional weight, because it's more about keeping you level, and so that way you can have a good riding experience.
Yeah, our Boundless Venture called that out too. Like, airbags are great for leveling you, but that's about it.
Yeah, so that would be my assessment on that. AAA, I didn't know that they had a discount Well, I guess I did know. I have seen that they have a discount program. I didn't.
For what?
For RV sites.
AAA. Yeah, AAA does. We had AAA for a little bit. I think it came with our warranty with our RV, because we did buy our RV new at the time. The used market was like crazy because it was during the pandemic, and used vehicles were selling for like way higher than even new vehicles were. It was nuts. So that's why we do have a new RV. I don't think we ever used it though.
No,
I don't think we ever used the AAA service, but I'm sure I don't have any concept of it either way, but I believe it.
Blue Fog Emporium says, "What are the must-haves for someone starting out besides the camper and truck?" You joined at the worst time.
We just wrapped our show. So we do a weekly show on Thursdays that starts at 8 p.m. and then we record that. We publish it on as a podcast on any podcast platform where
and on YouTube and all that, yeah.
And where you get YouTube as well on our channel on YouTube. We literally just talked about the unexpected costs of RV life after you get your RV. So like, you get your RV, now what? So rather than rehashing all of that right now,
no. I'm gonna run through.
We'll go through the highlights.
I'm gonna go through the highlights real quick, but please listen to our podcast. We talked about that this week. So number 1, hitch, specialty hitches, hitch receivers, stabilizers, weight distribution hitches.
Oh, he's got the
sliding hitches.
Number 2,
new tires, whether it's used or a new trailer. Propane refills, something a lot of people don't realize, or they do realize, but they don't know how much it costs. Propane refills are really good. Again, listen to the podcast. We'll talk about it more. Electricity costs, if you're at a monthly or a weekly, some weekly sites actually have started charging electricity.
Yeah, they have. Like, weekly sites didn't used to charge for electricity. Some of them do now.
Bottled water. So we have
water filters in general.
Yeah, we have a water filter into the RV, and then we have another water filter for everything we drink. But some places that's not enough, and so we buy bottled water. Temperature monitoring system. If you have an animal, super important. With that, it will tell you the temperature, and some of them will tell you the humidity. Ours does. We have Marcel. There's a $25 off discount on our website. So if your humidity gets out of control, having a dehumidifier is also really helpful. And
annual maintenance is really important too. So like, you kind of need to keep some stuff on stock, like sealant, or rubber conditioner for the slides, or rubber grease for the slides, unless it's a Schwintek. Don't do that with a Schwintek. But just stuff like that, Loctite for things that can come loose, like screws that can come loose while you drive down the road. All those things just kind of add up.
Catching up with, I think there's
a lot more that we discuss in the actual show itself. So definitely check out the show on either YouTube or podcast. It will release next week on Tuesday. If you want to catch the show live and you be like one of the first people to hear it, join us Thursday nights starting at 8. We'll do the show, and then we do this portion of it, which is Q&A.
Yep. PJ, I just saw your comment. It's been a little bit on the riding in the RV. He says, if you love them, keep them in the cab with you. Others, place them in the trailer.
BJ, I like your style. I like your style. That's amazing.
Mama Bear says, yes, there are high winds are enough to knock over RVs. It's enough
1,000%
to knock over 18-wheelers. They get turned over all the time from high winds. So we have a hard rule of no higher than 35 to 40 mile per hour gust.
That are predicted.
The predicted gust. and we don't travel because they tell you it's around 60 miles per hour is enough to knock you over. So
Well, a 60 miles an hour is enough to knock over an 18-wheeler, which is far heavier and has a lot more wheels on the ground, which means more friction on the ground than we do as campers. So 35 miles an hour predicted gusts could reach up to 50 mile an hour gusts on the actual day of. So if there's a prediction for 35 miles an hour, we do not travel. We will make other arrangements and other travel plans. We've learned that the hard way.
Cody says he does still have the wife and the trailer, but he wanted a fifth wheel.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. We love fifth wheels.
Yeah, we're big fifth wheel.
That's our jam for RV life. So totally get it. Got to do the upgrade. But I love that you still have the wife and the camper, which is great.
Yeah, I'm glad. I would
like she was into it too. She brought home a camper to be like, I'm game. I'm game.
I think people it seems like everybody's in agreement. My assessment of the airbags was a good explanation for people who don't know. Airbags just go. It's a thing that you can put in the on the rear axle of your truck, and it can just shift things up and down. It really is more about the ride than it is about handling additional weight. So like if your truck's sagging a little bit in the rear, that is okay. That doesn't mean you're overweight, but it will change the ride. And when you're sagging, I'm going to try and make sure I'm doing this on camera. If you're sagging, that means your trailer's probably sagging a little bit. And that means that your rear tire is actually not putting as much pressure on the road as the front tire on your trailer is. And that's not good both for wear and for actual weight distribution. That means more weight is being put on that front axle. And so you don't want this to be happening. You want to be as level as possible so the weight is evenly distributed across all 4 axles between your truck and your trailer, or 5 if you have more. So that's what the airbags do, is they help you with this.
It extends the life of your tires.
And it makes for a better ride.
It makes for a better ride.
So, yes, Good Sam is another discount program. We
have Good Sam for sure. They give you, I think it's about a 10% discount at like the vast majority of the campgrounds that are private campgrounds that are across the U.S.
Thank you, BJ. Yes, it was a very good comment. New here, so hey y'all campground, traveling kids from Georgia. American Ghost was a very hard comment to read.
Are those all questions?
Yes, they're all questions.
Okay.
Yes, we're at a campground.
We are at a campground. We prefer campgrounds because we aren't really set up to boondock or dry camp, as some people say it. What was the next one?
Traveling ?
We travel all year round.
Yep. Kids ?
Nope, no kids.
And they're from Georgia.
Awesome.
Hey, we're in Pensacola. We're near Pensacola.
Yeah, we're close by. We're neighbors right now.
Yeah.
We did stay in Georgia last year for about a week, and we had an absolute blast.
Sassy says up in Nebraska, 60 miles an hour is a breeze.
So, fun fact: we used to live in Lubbock, Texas. If you've ever been to Lubbock, they don't even talk about the wind unless it's above like 20 miles an hour.
Yeah,
if it's below 20 miles an hour, it's just assumed that that's going to be the wind for the day. But yeah, 60 miles an hour is like, okay, yeah, we're going to have 60 mile an hour gusts. In fact, the time that we got stuck and we actually got caught in really high winds was on our way to Lubbock.
Casey says, I saw he posted this a couple of times. Look into super single tires in the rear instead of a dually.
Oh.
We don't have a dually, so we have a single rear wheel. We wanted, that's part of the reason our trailer is as light as it is because we wanted to not have to have a dually because it's our only vehicle. And so we don't have any need for that, but that sounds really interesting.
That sounds really interesting. Yeah, I definitely want to look into that.
I would think there'd be some people who might argue, like, yes, you might have a better ride, but there's a lot of people who just want the dualies for the extra protection in case you blow a tire. So there's some people who wouldn't want that just because they want to have the spare active tire just in case one blows. My argument to that is if a tire blows on the front of your truck, you don't have a spare there. And if a tire blows in the rear of your truck, it's a good chance it's going to damage the other one. So it's not like you're going to make it very far before you have to replace both of them.
Yeah,
and replacing that's just more tires to replace. So that's kind of my thing. Alan's just catching up with with your favorite pie. The Great Gonzo, take yours around. I don't. How do you guys make money while you travel?
We have jobs. we have full-time jobs that we work remotely from the camper. As long as we have a good internet source, we're good to go. I had my job before we started RVing. It went remote, which was really, really great for us. He had a full-time job that was on site, but he had translatable skills that he could take to contract work online. So that's what he did. He works contract. So yeah, that's how we make money on the road.
Matt Will says,
I'm not sure you pronounced that correctly, but we're gonna go with it for now.
Matt Will.
Amma.
I live across from the one in Pensacola. There's multiple RV parks in Pensacola, so I don't know which one you're talking about. If you're talking about the one that's in Northwest Pensacola, Pensacola RV Park, we've been there many times. We're not there. We
love it. Yeah.
We love it. We're not there right now.
We're not there right now. Yeah.
They don't have a pool, unfortunately. So
we were gonna be here a little longer, so we wanted a pool.
Exactly. So, but that's cool. I don't know which one you live across. I know there's a bunch on Pensacola Beach and on Navarre Beach, but yeah, there's quite a few in this area.
One bourbon too many watching the Braves lose. Oh, I'm sorry, American Ghost. That's really sad. I hate to watch like my team lose. The Cowboys lost on Sunday. It was really terrible. It was awful. Somebody was talking about the Ranger game earlier tonight. Like, how did the Rangers do? So tell me how they did. We don't follow the Rangers as much as we used to, but we still are Texas fans. So.
Sassy, you said it's never less than 20 miles an hour. So I know you have an RV. So how does that work? Like, if 60 miles an hour is not that much for you, again.
Are they crosswinds or are they like straight on? I mean, I get that it could be any kind of direction, but like, yeah, I'm really curious about that too. What internet service works best in the RV world? Ooh, BJ, good question. We travel a lot. I will say it depends on how much you travel. So if you are in a specific location, look up what works best for you in that location. For us, we travel a ton. So we kind of have to have multiple internet sources because not every internet source works well in every location. But the two primary ones that we found that work well most of the time for most places are Starlink and T-Mobile, the T-Mobile hotspot. So we have both of those. We will use both of those kind of interchangeably depending on what works best in the location that we're at. And if both of them are awesome, which is here in the Pensacola area, then we will pause our Starlink service to save that money for the month, and then we'll just revert over to the T-Mobile service. Verizon, we've tested them all. Verizon works pretty well also. It does not work as well as T-Mobile does in the vast majority of places across the U.S. And we've been to enough places.
Hold on. Let's put a caveat on that. We target places near interstates because
we have to have really rock solid internet.
And so T-Mobile made a big push a few years ago where they upgraded all their towers across all the interstates in the United States.
Yeah. So we know we take up a lot of bandwidth. I'm on video calls all day long. We use a lot of internet. So we target places that are closer to the interstate, which means we're going to have stronger service, especially with T-Mobile. But Verizon works pretty well as also. AT&T is total shit across the US. It might work well in your particular area. If you have AT&T and it works great in your area, that is awesome. But if you plan to travel, I would encourage you to switch because it's terrible everywhere else.
Yeah, there are so many places where T-Mobile's been good, Verizon's been good, and when they're good, there's a good chance AT&T might be good as well. But where they are not as good, AT&T's worse. And there's a lot of places where they're good and AT&T is worthless. I will say I've had some bad luck. I've had two phones now. Two different phones. I've had some issues with Verizon, and I don't know what the issue is. And so so her phone's on T-Mobile, mine's on Verizon because we kind of wanted to split the load just in case.
But we're probably going to switch him over to
But we're probably going to be
T-Mobile.
switching me over to T-Mobile now because
We've proven it's not the phone.
it's not the phone, and there have been places where Verizon's just not holding up.
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
hey, Nams, welcome back, and
Nams.
thanks for the early complimentary comment, but no, you can't marry her. Sorry.
I mean, no, you can't marry him either. So 42-foot trailer with a dually that went by really quickly. That's great. Just make sure it's within
42 feet without a dually.
without a dually.
Yeah.
So yeah, just that's great. That's amazing. We have a 41 foot without a dually. Just make sure it's within the spec of the tow range.
That's the thing is you need to look at what your towing capacity is, and you need to look at your kingpin. That's the biggest thing. So we're butted up against the top end of our kingpin weight in our truck without having a dually, and
We're definitely still within the like tow capacity though.
Yes.
Well within the tow capacity. So, what else we got over here?
D Shiznit says Starlink is amazing.
It is. It's really great. The only issue that we run into with Starlink is if we're in an area where there's a ton of tree coverage or there's a lot of like obstacles for the dish to get to the satellites. That's where we fall back on some of those secondary internet sources. But yeah, Starlink is great. And the cool thing is when we first got Starlink, and we got Starlink like a year and a half ago, it was definitely like you kind of had to point the dish in the right direction. You kind of had to hold your head the right way, and it was just kind of hit or miss. Whereas now, it's pretty good. Like they continue to send up satellites into the air to make sure you've got that connection everywhere you go, and it's getting way, way better.
What is the worst part of full-time RVing?
We get this question every time, and I feel like I have to like rethink of the answer every time because honestly, I love RV living. I love RV
really.
travel. There's so many more things that I could talk about that are like amazing things about it. What you said hi?
He said I missed you too, buddy. So
There you go. Probably the worst thing that I can think of at the moment is like I don't know. I have to do dishes like 4 times a day because we don't have a dishwasher.
I have a dishwasher.
I'm the dishwasher.
I have a dishwasher.
Yeah, you have a dishwasher. I don't. So it may be that, but then I don't know. It's kind of a toss up between that and like every time we drive down the road, something breaks, and usually it's something really small that we can repair easily, and it's a quick fix. It's not that, or it's a cheap fix. It's not usually anything real big or crazy or involved, but it's just kind of an extra annoyance. I guess those 2 things maybe.
Our Boundless Ventures, I got to disagree. We love rainy days in the RV. Like we love the sound of the pitter patter on our roof. We don't like storms.
I don't like storms. But I will say I agree with you to a certain degree because part of the cool thing about being in an RV is like the indoor-outdoor lifestyle, the indoor-outdoor feel.
That's true.
And the first 6 months of this year
were
terrible because it was
constant
constantly raining on us. It like followed us everywhere we went, and we traveled a bunch, and it still followed us everywhere we went. So it was kind of miserable. But to your point, I love hearing the pitter-patter of rain on the RV roof. I have to say, like, I don't really like rainy days, but I love rainy nights. I love falling to sleep with that sound machine. There you go. He's already falling asleep thinking about it.
I am. Well, it was raining last night, so.
Yeah, Food for Thought was saying just dishes for sure. Yeah, it's definitely like really, really frustrating when I love that he is our primary cook and he is really, really good at it, and we eat really good food all the time. But I hate the meals where he's like, I'm going to cook this tonight. And I'm like, that's going to fill up my sink. I'm going to have a whole sink load of dishes to do. It works. It's fine. It's a minor inconvenience.
Jessica, hey, somebody had a good comment about these. Are not towels, actually, though. They're like rug material. They're not towels, but yes, we.
So I don't know, like during the summer especially, like your skin sticks to this leather. It's not leather, it's like pleather. But your skin kind of sticks to it. So I wanted something a little bit more comfy to sit on. Plus, it's dark furniture and the walls of the RV are a little lighter. So I kind of wanted to like draw in some of the lightness from the walls and have that come through on the furniture that we sell on. So I found them at IKEA. They were in kind of an impulse buy bin, and I got them at IKEA.
Okay.
Thanks for the compliment.
Ben Daniel says, I need convincing of this. My wife is really pushing me for this. Let me know your opinion. I assume it has something to do with, you're talking about going RVing or going full-time. Tell us what are you worried about?
What's your
concerns?
hesitation? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my big question.
I like you both, but she's pretty. Thanks, Noms.
Our wonderful moms.
He has a great beard game going on, guys. Like, look at this epic beard game. There was a comment earlier about somebody who was like, I would totally steal him from you. And I was like, I know, right? Like, he's great. So, I think we're both pretty great.
So, okay, so funny story about our chairs. So, we were recording a video.
You have like a fluff on your head.
Something I think like blew off because I found some fluff over there too.
Oh,
so I think something like blew off the fan or something. Maybe it was. Oh, I know what it was. It was one of your cotton balls with peppermint was squeezed in one of the slide outs, and when I turned the fan on, it blew off, and so yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, okay. So context. To keep bugs away, I will actually put peppermint oil, like drops, in a cotton ball, and I'll put it like in the wedge of the slide outs when we get stationed someplace. It's perfect. It keeps literally all the bugs away, all the rodents away. It's amazing. We do have to kind of vent the air when I first put it out because we have a dog and peppermint can be really strong for animals. But it's awesome. But yeah, okay, that makes sense that there was probably one that was a bit dried out and the AC blew and
okay, so there's some good questions in here, but I want to talk to Jessica and Sassy about our chair because they were talking about the quality of their chairs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we were recording a video right after she got back from the hospital, and I wanted to start the video like sitting into the chair. And I get it, I'm not a small dude, but I was also like coming at it real hard.
Okay, yeah, I remember this.
And there's a 1x2 that I guess goes across where like the seat is, and
You'll know it's coming. You know it's coming.
One of the times I went and landed down, we hear this loud crack.
He broke the chair, guys.
I broke the chair. So I put a metal, I don't know what it was from, but I had just a piece of metal with two screw holes in it, and I basically screwed it in to like hold it together as best I can. But I've got to pull the chair up at some point and like get under there and see how well I can jerry rig it, or if I'm gonna have, or if the chair's just done for. But when it sinks down the way that it's broke, I can't kick out the legs, and so I have to like hold, like the metal's holding it up right now so I can kick out the legs every time I sit in it. But it is legit, like I went from like full on standing, full weight down quickly. If you watch if you watch the video,
I think you can hear the crack.
No, I didn't end up using that clip.
You didn't use that one?
No. We used a different one, and I started sitting slower after that. So you'll see, like, I kind of gently come down into the chair because, like, the first time.
Sounds like gentle, bro, gentle.
So yeah, I broke our chair.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, here's the thing: most RV furniture is not the greatest furniture in the world. We lucked out. We have some fairly decent RV furniture. Ours has really held up very, very well over the last 2 years. But there's a ton of people who will switch out their RV furniture. You have to make sure that the size fits, but they'll switch out their RV furniture because it's not super great.
Okay, so on to Ben Daniel. He's now told us some of his concerns. So here's a big question that you haven't answered for us yet. Are you talking about going full time, or are you just wanting to buy an RV to travel? So we're going to answer your questions as best we can, assuming you mean full time.
Yeah,
so
that's what we do. We did part time before, but now we're full time.
So the first thing he says, the incentives and inconveniences. So we already talked about some of the inconveniences. Okay, he does say full time.
Okay, full time. I would say other inconveniences are just things that you have to plan around. Are Getting mail and deliveries. You do have to plan for that. It can be done, and it's not necessarily a big deal once you're kind of used to doing it, but it's something you have to think about more than you certainly do in a stationary home. Medical care when you're on the road is a whole thing. If you, I mean, when you need it, you need it, but it can be a whole thing. We've definitely had our fair share of that this year. I think those are the only other challenges. Incentives?
Incentives are, you can do this life a lot cheaper. We're not technically doing this life a lot cheaper. We want to explore. We're young enough. We want to try and do what we can while we're young, and while we can enjoy it. And so we are hitting hot spots sometimes where it is more expensive.
Yeah.
But you can totally do this life on the cheap real easily. You don't have to stay at Sices. So you asked a little bit about monthly expenses. So I budget $1,200 a month for site expenses, but we very rarely hit that number.
Yeah.
And usually if we hit that number, we actually go over that number, because that means we're probably staying somewhere really nice. And if I'm going to stay somewhere nice, or if I'm already going to hit that number, I want to go somewhere nice.
Yeah.
And so we're typically under that amount per month, usually. Not always. It's hard sometimes, because if you get a good monthly rate or a good weekly rate, but you've got travel days in between, those travel days can mount up really quickly, and that can increase your expenses. So I budget about $1,200 for site fees. I budget up to $800 for fuel. We've never used that whatsoever.
No.
But that would be like if we had to like book it emergency style scenario, and we did kind of, not emergency style, but we booked it from
kind of. Yeah, I mean, like, enough.
We booked it from Oregon.
No, Washington.
What? No, I don't know if I don't know if I know that number all the way back to Washington, but we booked it from Oregon to Florida, and we still did not use like the $800 worth of fuel per month. So I'm actually going to be lowering that budget going forward to $600 a month, because we've just never, and that's like pretty much as kind of, we did come from Washington before that, and I don't remember how much that was, if that would have put us over or not, but we didn't go over $600 getting from Oregon to Florida, and that was with a lot of strenuous travel days, and I'm not even sure we got over $500, honestly.
Okay, I gotta stop and call out Joshua for a minute. So he's definitely got some beard game love. Sounds like he has a beard as well that it sounds like it's pretty epic. And he mentioned a time where he cut it and it was shorter than he wanted it. We have a story about that as well. And I totally feel your pain, Joshua, because I resisted him growing out his beard for a really, really long time. And then I think it was a few years ago for like No Shave November, I was like, okay, you can grow it out for No Shave November. And then I fell in love with it. And so I have not allowed him to cut it since, and he doesn't want to cut it since, but we, being on the road, sometimes it's hard to find a good beard barber. And there is a difference between a barber and a beard barber. And so we tried to trim it ourselves. We've since learned we can trim it ourselves. But we did try it, like the first time we tried to trim it ourselves, we cut it a little too close and it was really, really sad. And so he had to like spend the time to grow it out again. So like, we feel your pain, but thank you for providing the beard love in the comments.
Jimbo asks, what do you do for insurance? We have Progressive.
Ooh, good question. Well, what do you mean by insurance? So do you mean RV insurance? Because yes, Progressive is our RV insurance. It is for full-time RVing as well. You should always tell your insurance company if you are full-timing it, because if you don't,
they may not cover
have a claim, they may not cover it.
Or they may not cover certain scenarios for you. So like, just be aware of that. If you don't, they will probably charge you more. I'm giving you the heads up. They will probably charge you more. If you want to risk it, that's on you. But for us, we wanted to have full coverage that no matter what happened in our RV, it is our home. We want full coverage for our home so we can get back, like, we're not out, like, we're not having to do all of this ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the size of your RV? What do you pull it with? What are your monthly expenses? I can go on. Oh, yeah, I was reading those questions. Okay. So, I talked about monthly expenses a little bit.
Yeah, size of our.
We have a 41-foot fifth wheel. You don't need to go that big necessarily. I would
It
say
depends on what you
it
want.
just depends on what you want. 36-foot fifth wheels are great. We wanted a bigger kitchen and we wanted some extra space that we convert into an office for her. And so we went a little bit larger because of those requirements. But the 36-foot fifth wheels, there are some great floor plans out there, and you can get all the way as small as a 32-foot.
Yeah, the nice thing too is if you target like 36 feet and under, you can get into smaller spots like places that are really common, or campsites that are really common to like state parks and national parks that we really can't fit in. So if we could go smaller and still have the floor plan needs that we need for full-time RVing, we would go 100% smaller in a heartbeat. They just don't make our floor plan that fits our needs the best in a smaller footprint.
Yeah. I pull our trailer with a Ram 3500 single rear wheel diesel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because of the size of us. You could technically maybe pull our rig with a 2500, but you'd be real limited, and I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
So depending on the size, you're looking at. Do they make a 36-foot with a front living? I don't know.
I don't know. That's actually a good question.
I've seen a lot of 40-footers with front livings, and I do love the front living floor plans.
I do like the front living floor plan.
But I don't
we
know
don't
if
have that. We have a mid floor plan.
So a lot of the 36-footers and the 32-footers, they have like a single flow.
It's like open concepts.
Kitchen living space. So I doubt they have any with a front living, but don't hold me to that because that might get a little cramped. I don't know if I've seen anybody do it yet.
Yeah.
So.
Hey everywhere family, what's going on, my friends? How are you? And how was Niagara Falls? Because that's pretty epic. We loved it when we went there. So definitely throw in the comments like what you thought of Niagara Falls.
Yeah, Jill, we love the front living floor plans. We want a good sized kitchen. That was more important to us. Hold on, I got some questions for you. Patty's asked a couple of times, so we need to answer Patty.
Hey Patty.
How do you get your mail?
Oh, good question. We kind of lucked out with our mail. So we have family, we're from Texas, we have family who's still in Texas who have voluntarily agreed to let us use their address, their home, as our legal residence, and we accept our mail there at their legal residence. Now, we do pay a utility there. We also pay them in wine to check our mail for us and open our mail and scan us anything that's like super, super urgent or relevant to us. And then we take care of it from that perspective. And then we meet up with them several times a year. Either we'll go there or they'll come to us. They have a camper as well. So a lot of times we'll like caravan together. And they will bring us the mail whenever they do that. So we're able to take advantage of that with the low cost of just supplying them with their wine.
And paying for their internet.
And paying for a utility. There are services that will do that as well for full-time RVers. Good Sam, I know, is a service that will do that. Escapees RV will also do that as well. But we have no direct experience with either one of those services. So take that recommendation as is, that like it's something we've heard of, but we don't know anything about it. And we have no experience with like their service.
Okay. Q asked, do you have to empty a black tank? Yes.
Yes,
we do. if you live in an RV and you plan on using the pooper, you're going to have to empty a black tank at some point.
Yeah.
Ray Johnson, not Ray William Johnson, but just Ray Johnson asked, what kind of, if y'all know who Ray William Johnson is.
Wait. Is Ray William Johnson in our chat?
No, Ray Johnson is in our chat.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying, I said not Ray William Johnson.
Gotcha. I was like, oh my goodness, why are we on his radar? he does all of the like crazy Karen stories right now on TikTok. So I'm like, get out of our chat, man, if you're on our chat.
We don't want to hear about
No, Ray Johnson, we're good. We're good.
What kind of RV do we have?
We have a Sandpiper 39 Bark. So it is a Forest River brand. Forest River has like a million brands under their umbrella. And then the 39 Bark is the model.
Jerry Griffin. No, we do not have kids. Not for us. Our Boundless Ventures, y'all have Geico. That's awesome. We looked
into Geico.
We looked into it. And Geico. I think Geico was a little bit cheaper, but they didn't cover as much, and we had a good deal with Progressive because we
use USAA.
We have USAA, and so they partner with Progressive for their RV insurance. So we had a pretty good deal with them, and so we went with Progressive for that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do for work? She works an office job remotely. I do post-production.
So we both work remote jobs.
Yeah. How many miles do you guys travel a year? Okay, so this is a fun number. So
oh, I'm curious.
I bought my truck used. It had 12,000 miles on it, and that first year, we were in the 35,000s by the time we were done. So I'm gonna say
yeah.
So I'm gonna say about 23,000 miles that first year. This year has been less. I don't know exactly what the number is, but I think we're hovering around 56,000 miles. So we only put around 20,000 miles on it this year.
Although in that 20,000 miles, we've gone really far. We went all the way from Miami to Vancouver, and then like 3/4 of the way back. So, and then we did like a quick stint in Texas as well to see family and friends. So
Tyler says, when will you trade in for an upgrade?
Oh, that's a good question. So there's a whole thing in the RV community where there are some campgrounds, not every campground, but there are some campgrounds that require your RV to be less than 10 years old. There's a few reasons for that, but we will certainly upgrade before 10 years. We've been in our current camper for 2 years. It was a brand new camper when we got it. We've had great success with our camper. Thanks, James, for the rose. We really appreciate that. So I don't know. We'll probably upgrade our camper. We really like it right now, so we'll probably upgrade our camper once we get the truck paid off. To be honest,
but it depends because they're not making our floor plan, or at least not that we can tell right now.
Yeah, they're not really making our floor plan in the specific way that we need it, because they're making floor plans that are really similar, but they have different nuances that don't really fit our needs right now. So we'll see. I mean, probably no earlier than another 3, 4, 5 years from now, but we'll see what the industry looks like. Now, I will say the manufacturers are motivated to innovate and add all of the bells and whistles in, because they come out with new floor plans and new models every single year, just like the car industry. But at least right now, sales are down like more than 50% from even last year. So they've got a ton of inventory right now. They've got new models coming in. They're trying to price them to move. So if you want to buy an RV, like now's a good time to buy an RV. But at the same time, like they're coming out with so much innovation at this point that I'm like, you know what? By the time we are ready to upgrade, they may have the perfect RV for us. So even the sacrifices that we made with this particular RV, which aren't that many, to be honest, may be totally resolved by the time we're ready to upgrade.
As Cheryl points out, some of the newer ones, especially the ones built during COVID, are not built as well.
They are, but I will say, we bought our camper. It's a 2021 camper, so it's totally a COVID camper, and we super lucked out because ours is amazing. We haven't had the maintenance issues, the repair issues that a ton of people have had with the COVID campers. So I don't know. We lucked out, but yeah, I would agree with you that on the whole, the COVID campers and every camper since then is not made with the same craftsmanship as the ones made like 2018 and sooner. Or earlier.
Baseball says, mine is a 41 foot and yours is better. Trust me. Well, thank you.
Oh, okay.
The Everywhere family says that Niagara Falls was... we're this far behind on chat. I'm sorry. Niagara Falls is absolutely insane. Cave of the Winds is beautiful.
Oh, Cave of the Winds is awesome. Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
It's so awesome. It's like the best thing to go do when you're at Niagara Falls. I totally agree.
No, we do not speak French.
We learned French in high school, and I've forgotten most of it by now.
Bubba Dog says, do you have to put coating on the roof? You do need to.
It depends on your roof.
Yeah, there are things that you need to do with your roof over time to maintain it and keep it in good shape.
There are some TikTokers who are RV service technicians, and I would absolutely recommend you follow them. That RV guy or that RV tech, Nick Buchanan is amazing. You should absolutely follow him. He has a ton of stuff on RV roofs. And then AZ RV Expert, same thing. He's amazing, and he has a ton of stuff on RV roofs. You should absolutely follow him because they will tell you, depending on what the material is for your roof, how you should maintain it. It's the biggest point of RV failures and like really, really expensive RV maintenance. So it's something to absolutely look into. But yeah, they've got some really great content on it.
Arvenia, we don't typically stay at KOAs very often, honestly.
No, they're super expensive.
They're so expensive. Even with their discount, they're still really expensive.
Yeah.
However, I have used KOAs sometimes if I forgot to plan ahead. Because they're so expensive, most people don't stay there. So if I forgot to plan ahead and everything else is full, usually there's a couple of sites open at a KOA.
Yeah.
Robert says, RV Babe. He's a babe, though.
Oh. Well, all right.
The Everywhere family says they put 42,000 miles on their truck since May.
Whoa! I mean, you guys are like next level traveling, though. I'm glad. So we got to meet up with the Everywhere family in Gulf Shores, Alabama earlier this year. We had a blast with them. If you're not following them, you absolutely should go check them out. But yeah, you guys are like travel monsters. Like you're all over the place.
Kevin Johnson asks, is a 1500 okay to pull a Keystone Bullet? I don't know what a Keystone Bullet is. Here, I'll look it up. I
want to say that is a travel trailer.
Well, yeah, I assume if he's pulling a 1500, I would assume so. Ultra lightweight travel trailers.
Well, while you look up, I'm gonna look at some chat. I don't know if I'm looking at it in the right order. So if for some reason we miss it, put your comment in there again.
Yes, it looks like a Bullet is appropriate for 1500.
Oh, well, there you go. You found that really quickly.
How long have you two been together?
24 years. We've been married for 17, but we've been together for 24 years.
Yep. Bubba Dog, why the 10-year limitation?
It's a good question. So there's a couple reasons for that. One is nobody knows.
It's to keep the campground looking nice.
The other reasons are fairly legitimate. So there are campgrounds that will say like, hey, we want to make sure that we don't have an RV that comes in that's like really ratty looking, that needs a ton of work, that could potentially break down at the campground and then take up a site that we then can't rent out because you can't move your RV because of the repair. That happens a lot more often than you would expect with older RVs. There's also times where the RV, like, it just doesn't look good if it's been 10 years older and it hasn't been taken care of. So campgrounds kind of just have that as a rule to try to protect themselves. However, there are a lot of campgrounds that if you have a 10-year-old camper and you could send them a recent picture of your camper to show that it's in good shape, they'll waive the rule.
Yeah.
It's really more for their protection. If you think about it, if you owned 100 homes and all of a sudden you had a squatter taking up one of your homes because they didn't want to move or they couldn't move and you lost out on all of that income, that could be a problem. Same concept, just on a smaller scale. So just think about it from that perspective.
Yeah, no, buying the RV from Breaking Bad is definitely a no-go.
Yeah. Don't buy that one. That one's a no-go. But yeah, I mean, like, just because you have a 10-year-old camper or older doesn't mean that you're going to be precluded from every campground. It's just a way for them to just kind of make sure that you don't come in with, like, the shittiest camper ever.
Yeah. Lots of people don't believe that we look old enough to have been together for 24 years. Again, that's been together, married 17.
Yeah.
And this goes nicely with somebody asked, our Boundless asked, when was high school?
I graduated in 2003.
I graduated in 2004. No. No, I graduated 2005. You graduated a semester early, so you graduated.
Oh, I was in the class of 2004. I graduated early in
Yes.
2003. He was in the class of
2005, and then we got married in 2006. We've been
Yes.
together since middle school.
Yes.
Punisher says, check your roof every 90 days. Check your roof way more often than that. Check your roof every
90 days is actually really good, but yes.
Yeah, check your roof every time you move.
Yeah. We on purpose don't have slide toppers on our roof. I know it's a bit of a controversial topic with RV life. We do not have slide toppers. And part of that is when we go to move, we get up on the roof, we sweep off the slides, but it gives us an opportunity to check the roof. And so we do it literally every time we move.
Mark and Tracy, she works a remote job. It's basically an office,
like 9 to 5.
9 to 5 office job. I do contract work in post-production. Aisha, she's not wearing pants right now. She's wearing shorts.
I am wearing shorts right now.
Our Boundless says they got 16,000 miles in 7 months on the Ram and almost 10,000 on the new GMC.
Woo!
That's so about 26,000 miles, I guess.
Yeah, that's a lot of travel.
I think because we like to stay places for long amounts of time, I guess that's why we only got, and this year we kind of cut our travels off early. We start to cut our travels off somewhere in the fall no matter what. This year we cut them a little bit earlier than normal. And so I guess that's why we only got 20,000 this year and we got 23,000 last year. But
this isn't a measuring contest, right?
No.
I'm sure we would probably travel a lot more frequently if we didn't have full-time jobs, but because we do, and those occupy our time during the weekday, we really only have the evenings and the weekends to explore the area that we're in. And we like to stay a little further out from the quote-unquote destination because it's just quieter and it's nicer and it's also cheaper as well.
Yeah.
So that really only leaves us for the most part the weekends to go and explore. So we like to stay places a few weeks to a month or so at a time. So that way we have the time to just really go explore that area before we move on. So for us, that's probably why we don't have as much travel under our belts.
Honeybee says the Tidgear rule is to make sure you're not Uncle Eddie.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. I just thought of your Halloween costume.
Uncle Eddie?
Yeah. I mean, literally, all we need is the hat and a bathrobe, and you're good to go, man.
Oh man, that's funny. Hold on. Ever worked at a campground? No.
No. Well, kind of.
We've done some volunteer work.
We've done some volunteer work.
No, we don't do work camping stuff. You don't make a lot of money that way, and you have to, usually a lot of them expect you to stay there at least 3 months, if not 6 months or longer. And so we like to move around too much for work camping to really be practical.
Yeah, although there are certain work camp gigs where you get your whole site for free.
Oh yeah,
so,
you save a lot of money that way.
And you get paid on top of that. So that's not a bad way to explore the country. You just have to be really, really flexible on where you go and how long you stay there, and you have to be really tight on your budget because they're not going to pay crazy amounts.
Mama Bear says, that was Mama Bear who just asked that. Mr. Savvy asks, is it a motorhome or a pool behind? Wrong on both accounts. It's a fifth wheel.
It's a fifth wheel.
Which is technically a kind of a pool behind. But
it kind of is.
It kind of is, but we generally refer to pool behinds as bumper pools a lot of times.
Yeah, the travel trailers.
Fully behind you, whereas a fifth wheel is kind of sitting on top of you. So that's kind of a...
Yeah.
Michael James says, so you're both broke? Nope, that's not what we said.
Nope, not at all.
We work real jobs, we make real money, and we put our time in. Do we have issues with internet? Bubba Dog 501 asks.
Not generally, but we pay through the nose for internet service. We actually have a couple different internet services. We have Starlink, which is amazing. We have T-Mobile, which is great, and we have Verizon. We're actually thinking of killing the Verizon because T-Mobile just works so much better in so many more places than Verizon does. So we're thinking of stopping that to save a little bit of money. But the nice thing is if we're in an area long enough, generally a month or more, where both T-Mobile and Starlink are working really well, then we will pause our Starlink service and just use T-Mobile to save that money, which is really, really nice. Going back to the both of you are broke. No, we're not. We're paid through the nose just for internet service.
Do you guys come across some of the setups with dog show RVs?
I've never heard of dog show RV. Like, tell me more about this.
I know. I'm really curious.
I'm so curious.
Hello from Kentucky.
Hey, Christy. From Kentucky. We were in Kentucky last year for about 3 weeks, and we had an amazing time on the Bourbon Trail. It was our second time on the Bourbon Trail. I don't know if you love bourbon or not, but Kentucky has some of the best bourbon on the planet, and we had an amazing time there.
Hey y'all, Matt's RV Reviews. What's up, my friend?
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Hannah. I think we've seen you before.
We've seen you before, yeah. It's been a little bit, but we've seen you before. Thanks for hanging out with us.
I think I'm all caught up right now, so, what else we got? Guys, we burned through those questions really quickly. If there's something we need to go deeper on, let us know, because we're caught up now on chat. How are you doing?
Mm-hmm. I'm good. Bob asked about the doctor's appointments. I actually have to take a bio break, so I'm going to take this off so you guys don't hear that, because nobody wants to hear that. And I'm going to let you
I wouldn't, Rule 402, I mean, I wouldn't say nobody.
Well, that's terrible.
Kevin asked, about to embark, where do I register my car and RV? So, we have a legal address in Texas. We talked about it earlier. It's my parents' address. We pay them in wine to handle all our mail and everything. So we register our car and our RV there. If you do not have a physical address somewhere that you can use, both Good Sam and Escapees and probably a few other companies, they will provide you a legal address and then you will register wherever that is at. So I think with Escapees, you can pick between like Texas, Florida, like one other state. One or two other states, because they don't have state income taxes, and then you basically register your vehicle there. And so that's how that works. It's whatever your legal... Sadly, in the United States, we still have to have a legal address for all this to work, and so I've never heard of anybody. I'm sure somebody's done it without registering for one of those services, but it's going to be a lot harder. I would recommend using one of those services and doing that. Yes, our Boundless Ventures, we are going to be at the Tampa RV show. We will not be staying at the fairgrounds because staying at the fairgrounds is fine, but we like a little bit more luxury. So we're going to be staying not at the fairgrounds. We're going to be staying at another campground. It's a little bit farther this year than we were last year, but we will definitely be there. I think, Honeybee, I answered your question. Yeah, our home base is Texas. Mama Bear, how do you find work camp? Like, I assume you mean work camping jobs. My only suggestion is to call the campgrounds and see who says, "Hey, yeah, we need a work camper." I know there are websites for it. I don't know any of them. Again, because
workcamp.com.
She knows. Because we don't qualify for it, typically, I don't really look that much into it, honestly. So, yeah. So, I guess workcamp.com is a place where you can find some of those.
Yeah, workcamp.com. It's WROKAMP.com.
There we go. So, get back to reading it down here so I can... Hold on. So Oakley says, they show dogs. So many handlers have amazing RVs custom for traveling with lots of dogs in them.
Oh, interesting. We've come across a few of those at non-dog show places. We have one dog, just one dog. For me, it would not be my jam to have more than one animal in an RV. That it's just a lot to have to keep up with for us. But we've come across people that have multiple dogs, who have multiple cats. We camped next to a couple in Gainesville, Florida earlier this this year who were awesome, and they had a pet parrot in their RV, and they were full-time, which was super, super cool. So I know it can be done. It's just not for us. But that's really interesting. I would love to see some of those RV setups that are custom designed for carrying multiple pets.
Francis, can you give a rough breakdown on cost of RV, truck, and travel? Okay, so
Well,
I'm gonna give you some general information. You can guesstimate from there. I presume you're gonna be able to figure out something about our budgets and everything. But we budget up to $1,200 a month for site rentals. We usually use less. We currently budget up to $800 for fuel per month. We always use less. We have 3 sources of internet that we're going to be probably dropping down to 2 sources of internet here very soon. So that's can be a little costly. Our truck and our trailer both have do have a loan on them. Nans, you're heading towards a temporary mute again, buddy. So we do have.
He says night.
Oh, okay. He says night. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
A quick shout out to Raylene. Hey, how's it going? And Ramsey, how's it going? All right. Back to the question.
So we do have loans on both of those. You got to figure that out for yourself. What do you want to buy, and how much are you willing to pay for it? The truck obviously can get very expensive. Our truck is actually, because of when we bought everything, our truck was more expensive than the RV was, and that was just how things worked out for us. It sucks, but it is what it is.
It was actually to our benefit. A lot of campers our size are double the cost that ours was at the time. So
we got a good deal.
We got a great deal.
Good deal on the camper, but we ended up paying through an arm and a leg on the truck. But we had 2 vehicles that we were trading in for one, so it offset the cost a lot.
Yeah.
What else? So that's internet, site, fuel, vehicles.
Yeah, and that's just our costs. I mean, we've talked to so many people who do this on so many different budgets and can do this on so many different budgets. So, I mean, it's really up to you as to how you want to do this life and what budget you want to use. Just like having a home, just like renting, like everybody has a budget. So it kind of just depends on that, but hopefully that helps. Those were our costs going into it, or our fixed costs at least.
So Jackie, we bought the truck used and the camper new.
Yeah.
Honeybee, it's a Ram 3500 single rear wheel diesel. So our Boundless Ventures, so for some of you who are asking about home bases and stuff like that, our Boundless Ventures, I don't know, some of you might have saw it in the chat. He said that they use a UPS store in Florida for their permanent address. I cannot speak to the validity of how all that works out for...
Yeah, we just don't have any experience with that.
So, I can't speak to all that. Like I said, Good Sam Escapees have paid versions. We use my parents' house. If you can use the UPS store for it, great on you. Like I said, you have... In the United States, you do have to have a legal address. It's just the way it works.
Yeah. Scott asked about food costs. Are we able to grow some of our own food? We travel too frequently to grow any food outside the camper. And for some reason, I have a black thumb, not a green thumb, and I cannot grow a damn thing. So, no, we buy all of our food generally from the grocery store or a butcher. We generally will go to the grocery store when we get to a place, so we kind of travel light on travel days, and then we, once we kind of get settled into our, whatever new place that we're at, we'll go to the grocery store after that. Instacart is actually really great because we can go to whatever local grocery store there is, place our order ahead of time, and usually do the pickup service, so we're not having to waste time roaming through the aisles of a grocery store that we're not familiar with, which is really, really nice.
Okay.
But yeah.
Previous question. Going back up the chat, not the new stuff. We gotta, come on.
I know, back and forth.
No, we gotta answer the old stuff.
Back and forth.
No. My hubby and I, this is from Carrion Pink. My hubby and I are looking into buying a fifth wheel soon. My question is, do you pay extra on items that aren't in the fifth wheel?
Yes. I'm not sure what you mean by items that are in the fifth wheel other than items to stock the fifth wheel up, but yeah, like literally anything that goes into the fifth wheel that doesn't come off of the lot with the fifth wheel, you're gonna pay extra for. If you have a specific question about that, drop it in the chat. But yeah, I mean anything else that goes in the fifth wheel other than what like literally comes in it, which no, that's a legitimate question. Like,
no, I'm not laughing at this.
The furniture will come with it generally, unless you buy it used and the previous owner switched out the furniture. The appliances will come with it. TVs will come with it, depending on how many TVs it's equipped to be able to handle. They're not great quality, but TVs will come with it. Some dealerships will throw in things like washers and dryers. They'll throw in things like a router or a cellular antenna for free. They'll throw in things like a rear camera for free. Well, not for free. You're going to pay an upcharge for it. I guarantee it. And in the total cost of the RV. If you buy new, you will often get a warranty that comes with it. And a lot of times that's included in the cost. But yeah, I mean, anything else, you absolutely have to buy yourself. And what I will say is do not buy it from the RV dealer shop. They will charge you way more money than what those items actually cost. So like when they tell you, oh, we've got this bundle for blocks and chocks and all the sewer hookups that you're gonna need and all of this other shit, like just say, oh, thanks, that's cool, I'm good, and then go to your nearest like Camping World or Walmart or someplace like that and go buy all that stuff yourself, because you're gonna pay a fraction of the price for it.
Oh,
what are you laughing at, man? Do I have to dance or something? Is there like, what's going on?
No. So I want you to look at our framing over here. Ramsey asked, is the open RV chat strategically placed?
Strategically placed? I don't...
It's covering up the knives.
Oh! Ramsey.
Okay, hold on, guys. Let me clear it for you guys so you can see what we're talking about. There's knives up here on the fridge, and the past couple...
That is the best place for us to store our knives. Come on.
The last couple of lives, people have been so scared that the knives were going to kill us. It's not as visible. This angle doesn't show it as much, but that's where the knives are stored. They're on magnets on the fridge. They are safe. They're good magnets. Ramsey was in our chat the other night when they were a little bit more visible. They were a little bit lower in the frame. But the open RV chat just happens to cover it up. No, that was not on purpose. That open RV chat, I put that there with... You're probably making a lot of noise.
Okay, people. Sorry. Repeat that again. You put that there.
I put that there without the camera being framed up at all. Actually, I put it there back when our camera was more straight on, which I prefer, but I guess y'all guys like it better at a slight angle, so cool. And so that just happens to be kind of covering up and making it harder to see the knives. So, real life camping SM says, I'll send you my 3 kids if you want entertainment. Nope.
We're good.
Did we get an update on Boy Mom and the baby? No, we have not heard from Boy Mom on if she gave... I assume she gave birth at this point. I hope she's not still in labor at this point.
I would hope so. That was Tuesday.
That was Tuesday.
That would be terrible.
Oh gosh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Raylene says, this has been a little while back. Raylene says, just got done watching the Chiefs-Broncos game. Chiefs won! Woo woo!
Nice.
Hey guys, Shay's Guinea Pig Resort. What's up? Sorry,
nice.
She's supposed to... So, okay, here's how it's supposed to work. She's supposed to be saying hi when y'all say hi, or responding to flowers. I'm supposed to be reading y'all's questions.
I responded to the gifts.
You did respond to the gifts, but you started responding to questions. Listen.
Oh, I know. I mess things up, guys. I'm sorry. I get distracted by chat that's on the screen where he's trying to like make sure we catch up. So there's that. Hey, Lorax, what's going on? Lorax says that our mics sound a little bit off. I don't know what. Good call out though, Lorax. Thanks for telling us.
Well, I didn't see any visible pinking, but I can definitely turn it down. I normally turn it down a little bit. I didn't this week because
Does it sound like it's robot-y or like it's peaking or anything?
he said it sounded like peaking. So
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, thanks for calling that out. We appreciate that.
Scott Krieger, you asked about us growing food. As far as cost goes, I budget about $1,000 a month, and with the way that prices are going up,
It's so much.
I think I'm gonna have to change that budget because it's getting expensive.
So I love eggs. I don't know if you guys know this about me. I love eggs. I eat them almost every single day in different varieties. I know, crazy cholesterol. I'm sure that is headed my way at some point. But eggs are fucking expensive right now. So I've had to like ration myself.
Lockman says he's lived in his diesel pusher for 10 years.
Ooh,
I love those diesel
that's
pushers.
amazing.
Me and my dad were talking about it. So he's got an Airstream right now, and they were talking about like if they ever wanted to go full time, they would probably get a motorhome, but he would only do it if he could get a diesel pusher. And diesel pushers are a little expensive unless you can find a good one used.
Yeah, they're going to be with us at the Tampa RV show, and their number one thing is to look for like new motorhome diesel pushers. Just so that they have like some ideas in mind. So if you come and see us at the Tampa RV show, bonus, you get to meet his parents, which are amazing, and they're a hoot. You will absolutely love them. So you should definitely come see us at the Tampa RV show if you're in the area. But yeah, they're going to be in the motorhome section while we're going to just be like roaming the whole thing.
Jackie, do y'all cook it at the site or visit local restaurants?
Both.
We like to cook at home as much as possible, but we're also big foodies, so we love to go try new restaurants and stuff like that. So
oh yeah, especially local places.
Yeah, so we're bad about that. Honeybee, she is 5'4", not 5'10". That is way off.
5'10". Oh, you're giving me like way too much credit. I'm super short, my friend.
Hold on. Or Amazon from Traveling Mike. I didn't see that. I guess I didn't see the first part. Traveling Mike. You said or Amazon. So sorry about that.
Drop it in again. The full comment if you can, so we can like try to respond to it.
We know why everybody likes this angle.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. We'll take your word for it.
Well, I do have me out of the shot quite a bit more, so maybe it's the fact that you don't have to look at me, but you still gotta look at my ugly mug. So, what kind of RV are we in?
Fifth wheel.
Ramsey says he loved the RV wave video.
Oh, good. So, it's kind of like, we thought it was funny because we were totally trying to be like super sarcastic and super farcical about it. But it's legit. Anytime you go to a campground, anytime you see another RVer, it's like everybody kind of does this like quick wave at each other. So there's a little bit of truth to it. I'm glad you were humored by it. We certainly were when we were filming it. And let me just tell you, we got the most amazing awkward stares when we were filming it because we would try to do a couple different takes so that we could get like the best of each like segment, each take of it. And there were people going by. So at times we were waving to nobody. And there were people kind of off to the side being like, what the fuck are they doing? And then there were times where we were like waving to the same person multiple times for the same take. And they were like, hi, I already said hi to you. It was great. It was great. It was great.
How does Starlink work? Could I get internet in my car? There is a mobile version.
You can do it, right?
Yeah, there's a mobile version of Starlink that you could actually put in your car. It just works by connecting to a satellite. It's been great for us. It's really useful. Right now, T-Mobile's good, so we don't need Starlink, so we have it on pause so we can save the money. Anthony Mark says, do you love eggs?
Yeah.
I
already answered that question.
Randy R., are you guys full-timers? Yes.
Yes, we are.
Our Boundless Ventures, we will see you in Tampa at the RV show.
Yeah.
When is it, though? It's the third week of January, I think?
I think it starts on the 17th, 18th, 19th, that week. So check out their website. You can just Google, like, Tampa RV show, and I promise it will pull up. It's like the biggest first RV show of the year every single year?
Lorax says my favorite thing is touring RVs.
Oh yeah, I love it. We do stupid RV reviews. We've only done a couple, but we're planning on doing a lot more at some of the upcoming RV shows. Our RV reviews are not like everybody else's RV reviews, so you'll have to stick around for that. But like, we kind of call out just like the stupid design features that RVs do, and we'll also call out if they do something really cool as well. But yeah, we definitely kind of do a different take on walking through RVs.
Starts January 17th for general public. It starts January 16th, I guess, for the media.
For the industry, media group, yeah. It's a very common wave in Texas. Jackie, we actually called that out. So we're both from Texas, and we called out a special like Texas nod during the campground wave video that we posted tonight. So you'll have to check that out.
Okay, Nams, you're on your way towards another mute again, buddy. Let's back it off a little bit.
Dial it back. Dial it back.
We do generally only travel on our days off.
Mm-hmm.
But we have, for reasons here or there, taken personal time, PTO time, to travel extra days when needed.
Yeah, like we were in Olympic National Park earlier this year in Washington State, and I took off of work, and we were only there for about a week, but we were able to explore the entire area in like the 3 or 4 days that we were there. So it was really, really nice.
Texas? No, it's just Texas.
Texas, right?
Yeah, Texas.
Okay.
Not Texas. Texas.
Tejas. You could also say Tejas. That is acceptable.
Diane, what is the best brand for fifth wheel?
Ooh, that's a hard question.
I don't know that there's a best brand. There's some of them have different features. Some of them have different floor plans. The best one is the one that works for you. I have heard some really bad things about Keystones.
Oh yeah, everything that I've ever heard about a Keystone is awful in terms of the build quality.
And I've had a lot of bad experiences, or I know a lot of people personally who've had a lot of really bad experiences with Jayco.
Yeah.
So I avoid Jaycos. We avoid Keystones because we've heard from enough people. But I think it's, for the most part, depending on what you're wanting to do, most companies are gonna make a pretty good quality, and you're probably getting what you're paying for.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. The one thing that I will say, when you're looking for a manufacturer of an RV, look at how good of quality and the reviews of their service.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to buy your RV, it's a whole nother thing to have it serviced. And you have to have your RV serviced, and you have to have repairs done on it often. So, you know, any RV manufacturer that has really, really great reviews, or dealerships that have really great reviews on servicing the RV, is probably going to, or should have a really significant influence over what brand you buy.
Ramsey, I'm gonna use your comment as a call out. Do we plan to give up the 9-to-5 jobs and content create influence full time? Well, I'll tell you what. The more people who follow our videos, like our videos, and maybe throw some gifts at us during our lives, the more likely we can quit our 9-to-5 jobs, and the more likely we can bring great content to you. So I'm gonna throw that one back at your direction. We would love to give them up. We'd love to focus on that full time.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's 100% legitimate. We absolutely love this. It's a hobby for us. If we could somehow figure out a way to turn our hobby into a full-time gig and produce a lot more content for you guys on a regular basis, we would love to do that. Part of that is we have to have more followers. Part of that is we have to have some support from different avenues and things like that. Right now, it's just a hobby. We have fun doing it, and we're going to continue to do it as a hobby. But man, if we could figure out a way to monetize that and convert that to full-time gig versus just a hobby, we would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Jackie, we do have a YouTube. we pretty much focus everything on our shorts, and so YouTube is not really well designed. They do have shorts on there, so all of our shorts that are on TikTok are also on YouTube. But their monetization policies are not great for YouTube Shorts, at least not right now. We don't make a lot of long form content, and that a lot of that has to do with our jobs and the fact that we still have to have time to work our jobs. We want to create content for TikTok. We like the short form content. We both absorb the short form content a lot more easily
I
ourselves.
have ADHD, so like long form content is not my jam.
And
TikTok works much better for me, where I can just continue to swipe and do
so
stuff like that.
honestly, for the moment, it's yeah. I know you.
We do put our podcast or our show that we filmed earlier tonight on YouTube. So that goes up there pretty much every single week. It goes, like, we do it live on Thursday nights, and then it goes up there by Tuesday or Wednesday of the following week. So we do have that. But yeah, like, TikTok is pretty much our primary platform. And then we also have YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, a few others.
Yeah, so that's honestly that's our major focus is we trying to make the best content we can make for TikTok, and that's short form, really easy to digest, and so we're not in a like realm of like, hey, we're trying to like blast you guys with these big like, believe me, you can put 10-minute videos up on TikTok. You can put 10-minute videos up on YouTube. We just like what we're making.
Yeah. Thanks, Nicole, for all of the gifts. A rose, a heart finger, the high bear, another rose, a fire. Oh my goodness, a dino. You're sitting in all kinds of stuff. Hey, that's low GRT. How's it going again? GTI. I'm so sorry. It's the whole ADD thing. My brain processes much quicker than my mouth. But yeah, thanks for the rose, the black cat, another rose, another couple of black cats. You guys are amazing.
We appreciate it.
We so appreciate it. You might, there's a fire in there. There's a TikTok sign in there. You guys might be in contention for our top gifter call out for next week.
I have a feeling if they keep this up, you might have to dance here pretty soon. There's the
the
dance counter.
Yeah. We're getting close. What else we got?
Okay, so
see.
real quick, I missed it. What is your YouTube channel? So our YouTube channel is at Wandering RV Babe.
Yeah.
It's same name. We use it across all of our social medias: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Threads.
I think that's it.
I think that's we're not on Twitter, and we're purposely not on Twitter.
It's a dumpster fire right now, so we're not there. But yeah, you can look for us across any of the other social media platforms. Same username, Wandering RV Babe.
That Texas Panhandle guy says, I've been living in a 2008 Fleetwood Quantum fifth wheel, 39 foot, while I build my barn dominium.
Ooh, oh man, that is super awesome in every way, shape, and form. I love that. If you do not have a TikTok that shows you building all of this stuff, you should absolutely start one. We will follow you because I'm super, super interested in all of that.
JJ says, I have a gorgeous beard.
Of course he does.
I must be the babe.
Yeah. I mean, it's beard and babe. If you can't tell who the beard is and who the babe is, I mean, like, you're tripping.
You're clearly the beard, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm totally the beard. Real quick, I missed the YouTube channel. So it's the same username as our TikTok channel. It's at Wandering RV Babe. And it has our YouTube shorts. It has our show on there. That's about all it has.
I gotta prep the camera because you gotta dance now.
Oh my goodness! We met our goal. Nicole and That's Low GTI, you guys put us over the top, so I have to dance. By the way, this is going to be a letdown. I'm terrible at dancing. My rhythm stops in my feet and my ankles, so I'm not even sure what dance to do.
Come on, you gotta figure something out.
I gotta figure. All right. I got it, guys. You ready? This is gonna show my age for sure. So I'm gonna try to do this without any sound because we don't have any like music going to like make me dance. But here we go. I'm gonna do the Macarena because that's what I do. I'll do it all the way around because that's what I do. This is an interesting view. You can see my butt for a few minutes. Don't report me. I think I'm doing this in the right order. I don't know. There we go. All right.
There you guys go.
I just got a cowboy hat, so maybe that was a good thing. Maybe it's not. I have no idea. It's okay. I know. It was terrible. I'm telling you, like, it's not that great. I'm a terrible dancer. I'm a terrible dancer.
I guess they're saying you missed a step.
I did. I probably did. I'm sure I did.
That's hilarious. Set the camera.
It's harder to do that if I don't have any music going. Oh, Jackie says I rocked it. See, I'm going to take that as a win. I don't know that I actually rocked it. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but I really appreciate the vote of confidence there.
How long have we been together? The famous question.
Through all kinds of weather. We have been together. We've been together for 24 years. And every time we're asked how long have we been together, or that we're together, and I say through all kinds of weather, he does...
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That. Yeah, 24 years.
Okay, oh lordy, I gotta catch back up on chat now. How much does it
There's
cost?
lots of responses to the dance.
No. Do we move a lot?
Pretty frequently, yeah. Yeah, we move about every 3 to 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, that's kind of our goal, is minimum of 3 weeks, and we usually don't stay much past 6 weeks, but you know.
Sometimes we have to, but we generally don't like to.
How much does it usually cost a month living in your RV? So we talked about this earlier. It's really variable for everyone. We have budgets, like I said, I budget up to $1,200 per site, $800 for fuel. We do have loans on both the truck and the camper. We have, I budget for,
we don't generally hit the full...
No, we don't, no.
Yeah, the full budget.
These are just like maximum potential, and we obviously, we spend a lot for groceries now, unfortunately, because the cost of groceries are going up, but yeah.
Gary, you're making me really jealous right now that you had lobster and a baked potato for dinner, and now you're just like waiting for the waves to come. I'm so jealous. I so want to have some Maine lobster.
BJ says he just tripped. Is that because of her dancing? It was pretty funny to watch.
It was a trip for sure.
What are y'all's professions? We don't really. I do post-production work, but we don't get into like a lot of the specifics of what kind of work we do. So we just kind of keep a little bit of the social and the professional life a little bit more separated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of You Did Goods. Wow. Show your age because you in your late 20s.
That's a huge compliment.
Thank you, Wolfman.
I will take that as a compliment.
That Texas Panhandle guy says we have good energy.
We have good energy. Yeah.
Jesse, if you want it one more time, I can reset. I can reset the.
We can reset the goal. I mean,
reset the goal.
I don't know that I can improve upon that, but I'll do a new dance for you. We'll put it that way.
Here, I can set a goal for new followers for you guys, and oh no, I can't do that. That'll take too much time. I got to set that up for next time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Here we go. I'll how do I set a new goal?
Not too many. Not too much. Oh, Beverly, you're in a camper, you're building a house, but you hate it? Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, we love RV life. We love living in our RV and traveling in our RV full time. I'm so sorry you've had a terrible experience with it. Hopefully it gets better. Hopefully your house gets built soon. And maybe you can just convert to your RV to like go do fun trips on the weekends. Maybe it'll be better when you're not living in it full time. I don't know.
I mean, they're already 72% of the way of to the new goal, so I guess I didn't set it high enough.
I'm just gonna take a stab at where we're at. I don't know 100% where we're at in chat, but I'm gonna try to respond to questions. So, Mr. Dimples, why do we move so much? I'm just curious. We like to experience new things and do new things, so we like to just kind of experience a place that we're at, absorb everything, kind of like do as much as we can while we're there, and then move on and go somewhere new and experience somewhere new. So we love the travel, but we love sleeping in our own bed. So that's why we move so quickly. But it's actually not super quick for general RV life. There's a lot of people that travel at a much quicker pace than we do.
Okay, Carrion, we will do an RV tour here in just a minute.
Ooh, are we set up tonight for it?
We're not quite set up for it, but I will make it happen for you here in just a couple of minutes.
There we go.
It looks like we're almost to our goal. So if we hit our goal, she has to dance, and then we'll do the RV tour.
Oh, there we go. There was a question there, maybe it was from Carrion, about that you use a walker, and so that was a.
Yes, that was her.
Okay. Hopefully, yeah.
Kimmy, thank you for the hats and sushi rolls.
Kimmy, thank you so much. Nicole, that's low GTI. Thank you so much. I mean, you guys are like getting us there. Okay, we've passed it. I have to dance now. And then we'll do the RV tour. So you get like a 2-for-1. Me dancing terribly again. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. And then you get an RV tour. But Carrion, I actually hurt my foot earlier this year. It's nothing comparable to having to use a walker consistently, but I did hurt my foot earlier this year, and I was on crutches for a little while, and then I was in an orthopedic boot for a little while, and had to like switch between the two for a bit. And so hopefully our floor plan really helps in terms of having a walker. The only limitation, I think, is going to be the steps to get up into the RV. And then we have one set of stairs that goes into the bedroom bathroom area. So that might be a limitation. There are RVs that kind of eliminate some of that. But we will show you our camper. So, all right. Are you guys ready for another terrible dance? Woo!
How much have you had to drink?
I haven't had that much. I don't know. Like, it was the chair moved back.
What dances do you know?
I don't know. I know this. I got the lawnmower, the sprinkler going. I have the what else do I have? I have the slide to the right, slide to the left. Actually, it was other right, other left.
It worked for them.
I have just kind of the general
the white person dance?
The white girl dance, like the valley girl dance, like this, where I can just move around like that. I don't know, guys. I'm terrible at. I have the hula hoop dance where I can't really shake my ass at all, but I'll try it.
Okay.
All right. Are you guys ready for an RV tour? Because an RV tour is going to be much more entertaining than the terrible dances that I really don't know. They're all laughing. Okay. RV tour. Let's do it. Can I take this? Or are you going to follow me?
I'll just follow you.
Oh, you follow me?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, come with us for an RV tour. Maybe I'll do a little jig while we're going on the RV tour. All right. So here is our kitchen. Yeah, there we go. We have full residential appliances. So there's I'm going to do Vanna White. How about that? Vanna White, here is our full-size residential fridge. Yes, we do actually live in an RV. We have a full-size fridge.
Open it up. Everybody always wants to see inside.
Oh, yeah. And you want to see that the knives don't move, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. All right, here we go. Woo, there we go. Lots of stuff in here. We have a whole selection of salsa in here because, we are Texans.
Salsa, hot sauce, all the good stuff.
All the good stuff. Got our fridge and ice maker.
If y'all are asking questions in chat, we can't see it right now, so you'll just have to ask them again or enjoy.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the tour for the moment.
We love the apron sink. It's really, really great. We do not have a dishwasher, so this is really, really nice. We got some dishes soaking from dinner. Full residential size microwave and oven stove. And then we also have our air fryers. We actually use those more often than we use the stove and the oven. Here's the coolest part of the kitchen, though. The pantry. Look at the pantry. The pantry is super awesome, super great. What is happening over here?
The wire's getting stuck, so I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, here's the pantry. It's a full-size pantry. I think this pantry was bigger than the pantry that we had in our first house. Not the house that we sold, but like our very first house. Yeah,
I believe so.
This
I don't
is a
think
bigger
we
pantry.
had a pantry in our first house.
We did. Kind of. We get asked about our spice rack all the time. All of this is available on our Amazon store if you're interested. If you're not, don't worry about it. We're not trying to do a sales pitch. Next is our dinette area. AKA, we swapped out the dinette and now it is our workspace. So this is a sit-stand desk. We got it on Amazon. The desktop is actually a butcher block countertop. So it serves as extra prep space in the kitchen whenever we're not using it as a workspace. And fun fact, when we're working, sometimes you get really stressed when you're working and you just need to take advantage of happy hour. So our liquor is back here as well.
Liquor cabinet.
Liquor cabinet is back there.
Most convenient location.
Of course, like, yeah, you get super stressed, you might need a little bit of drink to take the edge off. And then when we move through here, this is the kitchen. Not the kitchen. This is the living room. There we go. If you turn over to that monstrosity over there, so this is a couch. It actually folds out into a bed that can sleep 2 adults on it, which is really, really nice. If you ever have guests over, you can absolutely sleep enough people. This is all of our dog beds that are on here. So our Paw Princess has a couple of different dog beds. We just washed all of these this week, and we haven't put them all back together. You're getting the RV in the raw. This is kind of RV lifestyle. Space is limited, so here it is. It's not all put together. But this section used to have another couch with another pull-out bed, and we didn't need that much space. So we ripped all that out. This is just extra storage space for us. We found this dresser that we just use as extra storage space on Wayfair, I believe. And what was really cool was all of the style of this particular dresser matched the rest of the camper. So it's almost like it was meant to be, which is super, super cool. That's our pup. I think you saw her a minute ago. And then that's where we were sitting a minute ago as well. So then as we move through the camper, front door.
This is where having a walker would be an issue because there are steps out of the RV and steps inside of the RV. That's the downside of a fifth wheel.
Yeah, 100%. And then right here we've got, there's no like real great light in here, so hopefully you can see this, but here we've got our like coat closet. We use it for our cleaning supplies as well as our shoes.
I mean, this has a light with it, so you know.
Oh, there we go. The ring light kind of helps. There we go. And then let's move up into the bathroom.
Just open the door first. So
you do have to take your time. Yeah.
And 2 people.
One at a time in the RV. All right, so bathroom. First thing, we have 2 different sinks, which is really, really super awesome. We've got the throne where, you know, it's self-explanatory. And then we have a huge shower with a huge shower head, which is pretty great. Like, I'm 5'4". I can stand in here no problem. Somebody who's way taller than me can stand in here, especially with the skylight. So yeah, it's pretty legit. And then moving into the bedroom. So we've got our bedroom. There's a bed, self-explanatory. Closet. Here's a bonus.
Washer dryer.
We have a washer dryer in our RV, and it can actually hold a pretty good sized load. So anytime we need to do laundry, we do put it in the washer, put it in the dryer, good to go.
But then,
And then there's some extra specialty liquors that we got from Kentucky. So for our Kentucky friends that are in here, we got those from Kentucky last year.
those are the private reserves.
Yeah. Those are the ones we don't want to drink too quickly through. So yeah, that's the RV tour. Hopefully you like it.
The view on the way back down.
There you go. Again, it's a Sandpiper 39 Bark. I have not seen it for the new. I have not seen it for the new year, so I don't know if they're making this same model moving forward. But ours is a 2021.
Where were we on the Bourbon Trail?
Huh?
Where were we on the Bourbon Trail?
We were right in the middle of Frankfurt. We were at a campsite, at a campground right in the middle of Frankfurt, which was super, super awesome. We had a blast, and we got to see visit a ton of distilleries, which was super awesome. Do we wash all that in the RV? Jennifer, I'm assuming you're asking about the dog beds.
Probably.
We do wash all of our clothes in there. We will wash our dog beds in the RV if we need to, but sometimes we use laundromats for the dog beds.
Yeah, we prefer to use laundry mats when possible.
Yeah, they're kind of big and bulky, so it makes it easier.
Oh.
Love the bedroom. I know, a bedroom's great. Really love the layout. That's pretty awesome. Appreciate you both showing us. Yeah, absolutely.